you is this is the Royal Purple Top 16. Dimitri Brutskiy from Belarus in that BMW M3 and Nick Noback in that E46. So coming from Las Vegas. Fairly equally matched here, Ryan, as far as horsepower. Noback, he's already been on the track. How's Brutskiy going to fare?
I think that's definitely a big advantage, at least conceptually, with Noback having some experience about how this track is going to feel at this temperature. Brutskiy, obviously, it was this morning that they had their practice session, so we'll see how he does. He is the lead driver here, so he will be setting the pace, and we'll see how Noback can chase him down here in the top 16.
Dimitri Brutskiy pulled the #1 card, so that is an advantage for him as he got an automatic bye run in top 32 to advance on here where he's sitting on the start line in top 16. Noback had to take out Mike Power. It looks like we are getting the thumbs up from both drivers, and we're ready to send it here. Oh, look at this. What's going on here? It looks like Nick Noback is a no-go on the start line. So the Achilles tire shredded. As
not so fast, not so fast. We are hearing restart over the radio. So it looks like Brutskiy jumped the light there. Maybe a little bit
loss of basically loss of communication there.
Yeah, because obviously Noback knew what was up. He stayed on the line. So he kind of had a double fault there. It looked like he jumped the light, and then he also hit a chicane cone, both of which are restart.
And Dimitri Brutskiy, we've seen in years past, I believe he purchased the Z4 that ESSA had built prior, and now he's got this new vehicle here, which looks great. You can see ESSA Autosports on the roof, part of that Boost Brigade gang and the ISC suspension. And
I don't know that it's much of a consideration for the Pro 2 guys, though, that, you know, it's getting more of a consideration, but Brutskiy did burn off quite a bit of tire there. Yeah. You have to wonder how these 2 laps are going to hold up. So it looks like you can see they're having a conversation there. You got to make sure that the lead car does not leave the light until the light extinguishes. However, the chase car, as we talked about earlier, Jared, can leave the light early.
Yep.
They are able to evaluate the car that they're driving against and saying, hey, this guy's much faster than me. I want to get into the corner with him as close as I possibly can.
Yeah, and that's always worth repeating because people are like, oh, he jumped the light. Well, the chase car can to time it properly, and that's where your spotter really comes into play of understanding that, hey, you might be out horsepowered here, so make up with that by getting right to the door, right out of the gate. So it looks like we got a clean start. The lights have extinguished, and now here we go. It's so great to be back, let me tell you. Brutskiy initiates, filling that outside zone. Noback, he's already been on the track once before, taking out Mike Power, and now Brutskiy looking clean, tidy, all the way through that 3rd outside zone. Let's see how he handles the transition. Boom, right back in it. Noback, a little bit of correction there. You saw he didn't get all the way out where Brutskiy did. And Ryan, you got to take it now into consideration as far as does he have enough tire to go these 2 runs? Because, I mean, essentially when he wraps up this 2nd run, it's going to be 3 runs in total for Brutskiy.
Yeah, or maybe 2.5 before he kind of got off the
2
throttle
3/4.
As we take a look at what the replay is going to show us here, let's look at how Brutskiy gets off the line. So you can see Noback gets out just a little bit ahead of him, giving himself a buffer. Brutskiy gets on the throttle here, e-brake entry right into it, then he's back on throttle. Great job filling that 1st outside zone. Noback a little bit shallower here, and also on that 1st outside zone, but good proximity, nice mimicking of the angle. Brutskiy looking solid out front here. Nice and smooth, big long e-brake pull to get into that outside zone, but outside of that, a pretty nice standard being set there for Brutskiy out front. Noback in the chase position, no slouch, just a little bit of a tighter line in certain areas of the course, and maybe most notably on that 1st outside zone, but overall a great start here to the top 16.
Getting fully like amped off of that guitar riff, by the way.
I love it.
Dude, getting fully torqued. All right, here we go. So Brutskiy now will chase down Noback. Even with Noback kind of jumping a little bit, again, that chase vehicle can do it. You saw Brutskiy separate himself really quickly, but talking with Dylan Hughes earlier in that Royal Purple segment, we were talking about that halfway point, the one and only at the turn and burn inside clip that could separate the drivers here. Now here comes Noback in the lead position. Brutskiy drops into formation. A ton of smoke being kicked off of Noback in Brutskiy's face. Oh, and it looks like, oh man, I thought he was gonna check up there as Noback kind of puts up a wall there in oh wow, Brutskiy making those cones like Pokemon, collect them all. Oh, look at this, you can see Brutskiy with a little fist pump, maybe a early celebratory experience there for him.
I think he was obviously watching the car in front of him. It looks
Yeah.
like Noback went 3 off in that final corner there. We're going to have to talk to one of our judges, Brian Eggert, to see what he thinks about this when we get done with the run. But great initiation here by Noback. Brutskiy trying to stay on that line, driving through the smoke cloud, good through that second outside zone. Brutskiy, a lot of pressure here, almost a little bit of contact through that inside clip, and then Noback accelerates. It's a gap right there against Brutskiy, but look, way overextended, way offside the zone. Yes, and he is 4 tires off there prior to the finish line, and that may have been the fist pump from Brutskiy. As he closed the door here on this inside clip, Jared, really Noback was going way too fast through this last section of the course. And from that last angle that we had and that one, you can see that he's 4 tires off there, and so a big mistake on an otherwise pretty solid run.
Yeah. Yep, so Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine in the middle, and Brian Eggert. So we'll see who's burning the Yule log at Christmas time. And there it is. We got Chris Yule saying Brutskiy, Ryan Lontaine saying Brutskiy, and Brian Eggert saying Brutskiy. It is a unanimous victory for our international driver. So Brutskiy advances on into the Great 8, and that fist pump was definitely was a good one. Man, a good run right out of the gate, top 16. We saw Brutskiy, seeing him pump his fist, and he was elated. Noback, even with his experience on the track in 32, seemed that that didn't really benefit him here. He overcooked it, and man, like I said, like Pokemon, collected them all, meaning all the cones and all the dirt around that final outer zone.
Yeah, the judges really want to see you be on throttle for major parts of this course, but there's a fine line there, just really trying to find that balance. And going into that last section, you could see that Noback was pulling that gap, and it was indicative that when he went off course, he just pushed a little bit too hard there in that section and was unable to follow through.
Hoffman Rahimi going against Carlos Arrieta, as we have Nashville versus Virginia. So a couple experienced drivers here. Hoffman Rahimi, I know he's been up in the horsepower over the years. He's claiming that the four digits there, but Carlos, great looking vehicle. Those SCs, traditionally a very heavy vehicle, but the SCs can do some battle. I mean, they can be some fierce weapons. So Carlos against Hoffman Rahimi. And Hoffman will lead. More Hoffman than Hoffman. Here we go. Out of the start gate, Carlos might have given himself too much room there. This is his first time on this track. Hoffman Rahimi as well. Oh, and look at this major correction there by Carlos in that chase position as Hoffman fills that third outer zone. You can hear him popping his way, really stretching the legs. To go from that third outer zone to the fourth is quite a bit of distance there. And Carlos, you can see, having some struggles there from the midway point and beyond. But Ryan, talk a little bit about like I said, stretching it from outside zone 3 to 4. That is quite a bit of distance.
It definitely is, and let's take a look at Hoffman though, Jared, because he did have a mistake here on the transition. He gets a good start here. He pulls up a little bit early on that first outside zone, and look at this big angle, then snaps it back there. It has a little bit of trouble, and in the chase position, we're seeing Arrieta just kind of struggle to adapting to what Hoffman is doing, as Hoffman is the lead driver, and of course the lead driver's trying to run that perfect qualifying run. Arrieta having a little bit of a challenge, struggle, trying to figure out what the flow is with Rahimi, and just didn't really work out as well as he wanted to on that first run. But now he's got a chance, as he will go to the lead and try to set the standard here, and we'll take a look at how Hoffman Rahimi can battle him down in chase.
Yeah, you have to think there for Carlos and Hoffman, because this is both their first times on the track here this weekend in battle. Is that mental? Is that part of their vehicle, just finding the flow?
Well, I mean, you know, practice, you try to vet a lot of that out, but you get into competition going up against another competitor for points. Obviously, it's going to change the psychology.
Yeah, and again, just 4 weekends, triple headers. I like to call it triple headers because can't leave out Pro 2 and then our 2 Pro rounds. So just a lot of drifting going down. So makes for an exciting weekend. Here we go. Carlos out front, Hoffman giving chase for the second run of this battle. Hashtag FDSTL. Keep the messages going and keep the conversation going. Little wavering there, shimmy shake into that first outer zone. Ryan, that got a little twitchy there. Looks like he was buffering, a little glitch factory there. Oh, and another shimmy around that front clip. There goes Carlos. You can see him kind of, those front white wheels are indicators that just small, minimal twitches, minimal corrections there, and that's got to throw off Hoffman Rahimi in that chase position. So Interesting approach. I'm really looking forward to seeing the replay here. Did you see the same things I was seeing?
Yeah, well, you know, we do know that with a lot of Pro 2 drivers, we do have some vets. A lot of these guys are coming up from Pro-Ams. They've got their license from different parts of the country or even different parts of the world. And so this is their first time on the pro level, trying to prepare for pro. You know, most of the guys are younger and kind of new to competition. And what we saw here with Arrieta is, you know, a situation that the drivers or the judges have really spoken about a lot is that, you know, if you're going to ask the chase driver to be in proximity, the lead driver really does have a role to be consistent. We saw from initiation, he was struggling a little bit, kind of going back and forth. And Hoffman does a good job kind of pacing himself, not getting super close, because it looks like Arrieta is being a little bit more sketchy than he is able to predict for. He's keeping the pressure on, and then right there he makes a little bit of an adjustment. He pulls some angle out, but I think you're right, Jared. Like, the twitchiness that he was making and the mistakes is definitely going to be hard for Hoffman to follow.
Okay, so the verdicts are coming in between our three judges. So Chris Yule, representing the States, he is our top judge there. As we explained earlier, Robin Ishida doesn't want to potentially expose himself where he'd have to be quarantined back in his native country of Japan, as you know, coming back and going as he works with Formula Drift Japan. So we brought in Chris Yule, who definitely shadowed Nishida last year. And our repeat judges, Brian Eggert and Ryan Lontaine. Well,
there definitely is some individual deliberation going on here. We'll go to Brian Eggert after these results come in to see how each of these guys interpret it. Usually when the results take this time, that means there was some consideration. So let's see what's going on.
All right, here we go. So and there it is. Chris Yule says one more time. Ryan Lontaine, our Canadian judge, says Hoffman Rahimi. And then Brian Eggert says Hoffman Rahimi. So as we are going to talk, like you said, Ryan, to Brian Eggert, we'll bring him in. Brian, you and Ryan Lontaine said Hoffman Rahimi. What's cracking?
Yeah, I mean, based on the runs, Hoffman had a better lead, and of course you had Arrieta straighten at the inner clip 1 on that run, and then when we switched them, so we basically gave him a loss for that, or incomplete for that straight. But then when you switched them and you had Arrieta leading, he had a few mistakes in his lead where he went a tire off in outer zone 1, he had shallow angle in outer zone 3. So we just kind of gave, based on that incomplete, we had to give the win to Hoffman. When I talked with Chris here, he went one more time because he gave Hoffman incomplete for straightening in the chase.
All right.
But we kind of put that on Arrieta because he was running really shallow angle, and it was kind of hard to chase that.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so giving some insight there from our judges as we are seeing our next battle here. Andy Hateley and Josh Love. Look at love or hate. Who's going to win? Right? Just putting that battle together there. This is pretty sweet. So Andy coming to us from California. Denver, Colorado is the flag that Mr. Love flies. And he flew the winning flag in the top 32 earlier as he took out Daniel Stuck in the OMT. And here's Andy Hateley. Like I said, the BMWs, man, they are just a bevy of those the roundels here in Pro 2 competition and, of course, in Pro.
Yeah, I love it. It's great to see the diversity. It's one of the things I love about the sport. So many awesome cars, and every individual driver gives a unique take to the styling. And here we go, Jared, Andy Hateley, and Josh Love. Really looking forward to see how Josh adapts here to this veteran of Andy Hateley.
Andy Hateley initiates in that first outer zone. Love has been on the course before. Man, you can barely see the backside of that great-looking E30, but Andy Hateley almost getting into that tire wall. Not the proper line that I believe the judges are looking for. We'll have to look at it from different angles, but he was flirting with that tire. Oh, and checks up, almost gets a love tap literally in the back end of the Hateley E30. Like I said, I just love that it's love versus hate.
Yeah, and we'll definitely want to take a look at the replay here because there was two sizable mistakes from Andy Hateley, and one of them was in an area where the line was really unorthodox from Hateley. Let's see if we can determine what happened here. He gets a really fast initiation, but he pulls off that outside zone, so he's on a tighter line here. Now, when he comes up to the second outside zone, you can see that it was a very late transition, pushing him out very wide. Now, good adjustment by Love. He's keeping him in his sights here, but he's not getting too close to possibly make some mistakes. And Hateley is very fast, but it's that mistake right there that is going to give Hateley an incomplete on run number 1, and this is going to give Love a really sizable advantage going into his lead run.
All right, so seeing a lot of fans watching in, hashtag FDSTL. All right, so sideways 10 SS, what's going on? The Codester watching, and my boy Matt Jordan, shout out to you from New Zealand, as Josh Love will now lead, and Hateley will chase him down. Second run of the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple synthetic oil, the official oil of Formula Drift. Josh Love makes through the chicane. Andrew Hateley drops into formation. Really on the door of Love is Andy Hateley. Watch how he transitions here, that front clip. Andy diving in on the E36. Now Hateley transitioning. Let's see how they handle this last outside zone. Love gets deep. Hateley like the pressure, but I want to see that different angle because Hateley was right there on the door. Round of applause for these guys. Really well done. Clean run there by Love. You can see the confidence building with him going from 32 to the one more time. Now here's in the 16, going against the vet, Andy Hateley.
Yeah, really excited about Josh Love. And Andy Hateley did have a good comeback on run number 2 in his chase position, but look at how deep Josh was into the first outside zone. Pretty decent on that second outside zone, maintaining pretty solid consistency through this section of the course. And in the last part, which becomes very challenging to get to that outside zone, you can see he's right at the edge there. Hateley really tightening it up, keeping the pressure on. But remember, going back to that first run, it is incomplete for Hateley, so he was hoping that Josh was going to make a big enough mistake, either by him putting pressure on Josh Love or Josh making a mistake independently, and that did not happen.
I'm trying to think of the song. Isn't it ABBA that sings How Deep Is Your Love? Right? Am I correct in saying? Well, there's a Calvin Harris version of it. Oh, the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees. So how deep is Josh Love in that outer zone? Right? No, you don't like my puns? Jason, our audio guy. But there it is. How deep is your love? Well, deep enough because Josh Love is moving on, and it is unanimous. Unfortunately for Andy Hateley from Malibu, California, is knocked out. The Love Fest continues. The summer of love as Josh Love moves on, taking out. So Love does win over Hate Run. Lee.
Indeed. Indeed, he did.
Yeah. I'm stoked that, I mean, all we need is love, right? Jason, again, our audio, he's a music guy, and he's not liking my love puns.
Yeah, you've kind of used and abused that now. We can move on.
Okay. All right. Well, I see which side you were obviously pulling for Hateley. So I get it. All right, Josh Love moves on. Who's he going to be going against? One of these two gentlemen, Dustin Miles or Brian Wadman from New Hartford, Connecticut. Dustin Miles coming to us from Georgia. Always has really cool, rims and graphics, good look. Brian Wadman, all killer, no filler. Got that big sponsor, and he's got that Magnuson supercharger sticking out the hood of his S14. So Dustin Miles there in the S13 and Wadman in the S14. So Mr. Love will be going against one of these gentlemen. Miles will lead, and Wadman, he took out Joe Lynn earlier in the top 32. Let's send it and find out. All right, Dustin Miles clear through the start. No cones hit, no restart. Throwing it right in goes Miles. Wadman tucks in into the smoke signal. Transitioning around that front clip. Miles just barely glances right past the front clip. Miles with massive angle there. Now into that last outer zone, filling it up. Really well done. Dustin Miles on his maiden voyage competition head-to-head in the 2020 season. Ryan, it's looked like he picked up where he left off last year. Well done.
And a pretty smoky run for Wadman to deal with, and credit due to him. He actually navigated through that smoke line on the early parts of the track pretty well. As we take a look at it again here, we will see what challenges he was dealing with. And obviously for Dustin Miles, an incredible lead run overall as the drivers head back to grid for run number 2. Let's take a look at it here on the Air Force replay. Miles gets out to a good jump. Wadman gets behind. He's a little bit on a tighter line. Miles just right at the edge of that outside zone, really fills that second outside zone well, and a great transition and a good defensive move there by Wadman, making sure they didn't get caught in the angle that Miles had there in outside zone 2. And then good fluidity here for Miles through this last part of the course, and you can see that Wadman was not able to follow his line. Here it is from above. Miles reaching out to that third outside zone, and a nice fluid transition to the final section of the course, and then you see the difference there in the line from the drone shot, where Wadman was not able to get out wide. So a good standard set there by Miles, but now it's Wadman's turn to take the lead.
Shout out to Christos Blue. She's watching home at Latvia, a Latvian lover. What's up, homeboy? Again, getting a lot of shout outs here. Keep the conversation going. Let everybody know it is Formula Drift weekend, starting today and going on until Sunday evening, as Brian Wadman will now lead. Dustin Miles will give chase. Let's see if Wadman can throw down now as he gets the clean air. And Dustin Miles gonna get a face full of Achilles. Both of them initiate. Miles a little bit later than Wadman. Now coming in that second outer zone, massive angle from Wadman, taking that wider sweep, but then tightens it up, puts a bow on it. Into that third, flirts with the dirt. And now back around, Dustin Miles takes that beeline approach. Doesn't mimic the angle of Wadman, Ryan. So Miles obviously comfortable out front, and Wadman putting together. So again, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. What's going through your mind, Ryan?
Well, I want to take a look and think about Miles's lead run, because the lead run here from Wadman was actually pretty solid. It was good snappy initiation, had that little bit of adjustment there, which may be a point of difference, but he's able to fill that second outside zone. He stays on throttle here through a very important part of the course to set himself up for the final outside zone. Miles is trying to chase him down here, and he dives in to try to gain that proximity. He knew that Wadman was also gaining proximity there, but he was on a tighter line. There they are, leaving that inside clip. Great job by Wadman filling that outside zone and then sliding into this final. So you can see Wadman did not get as deep into the outside zone as Miles, so there may be 2 points of difference in the lead run from Miles compared to Wadman, and then the judges are going to be looking at the chases and who did better overall.
All right, these two blue S chassis, 113, 114. Ryan, do you have a victor, Ryan? Already, I mean, you're making claims. You're writing things down over here. Ryan, making some claims. Looking into his crystal ball. I don't know. Ryan, you think you know who won, huh?
Yeah, I think I do, just on the lead run comparison. But let's see what the judges think.
Let's make it official. Left for Miles, right for Wadman. Mr. Yule says Wadman. Lontaine says Wadman. And Brian Eggert says one more time, but golden ticket, they are moving on. You can see Brutskiy is going against Rahimi in the Great 8. We got Love, who took out Andy Hateley, and then Wadman just defeated Dustin Miles. So Love versus Wadman in the Great 8. We are halfway through this Royal Purple Synthetic Oil Top 16. Here is our next head-to-head battle. Kelsey Rowlings, the only female femme fatale here from Orlando, Florida, just moved to California, moving to the West Coast. She is going against Austin Matta from Shakopee in the Nissan 240SX S14. So both these drivers in the S14 chassis, fairly equally matched. Kelsey Rowlings, a lot of tires burnt underneath her vehicle, and we have Mr. Matta is going to be chasing her down. So Kelsey Rowlings' first go round here in the 2020 season. Great to see her back in the mix. In practice, she looked strong, looked like her car was up to snuff, and excited to see her run once again. Wow, rip roaring out of the gate. Here comes Kelsey Rowlings, top one, S14. Now transitioning into that front clip. Oh, Kelsey center punches that front clip. Matta swings a little bit wide. He's got some fresh air, so separate incidents there as Matta slides in a beeline into that final outside zone. Ryan.
Well, Kelsey Rowlings for her first run out in 2020.
Yeah.
Going up against Austin Matta. Don't know how much time that they actually had a practice together, but Kelsey gets a good jump pretty deep into that first outside zone. Good angle here. Notice the smoke line still pretty full there for Kelsey, so she's doing what the judges want her to do by transitioning in the right place for outside zone 2. She comes up a little bit tight on that inside clip, then moving to outside zone 4, and a really slow transition into the outside zone, the final outside zone, but does fill it pretty well there. This is where she takes out that inside clip, but she's keeping the throttle on. Matta having a tough time really keeping pace with Kelsey out front. Starts to close the door here towards the end, but a little bit of a tighter line. So now we're gonna have Matta go to the lead position to battle Kelsey Rowlings here to find out who's gonna be going on into the Great 8.
Yes, sir. Here we go. Austin out front. Kelsey Rowlings, new livery, like the kind of crackle finish there with Kelsey Rowlings. Both these vehicles sounding mean. You got that snuffleupagus intake sticking out of Mr. Matta's hood. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Send it. Nice job there by Matta. Kelsey Rowlings needs to gain some ground here, apply some pressure. Matta with a lot of angle there. Doesn't tighten up to that front clip. Gives Kelsey an opportunity to jump up, and there she does. But Ryan, you saw Matta kind of more fluid there. Kelsey had to gain some ground from the third outside zone to the fourth. Want to see a different angle there. Don't know if she got hung up on that third outside zone.
I think she may have got lost in the smoke coming out of the first inside clip. Let's take a look here. Matta out front, kind of floats into outside zone 1. Kelsey trying to keep pace here. Matta, big smoke screen. Now watch here, Kelsey's got a low angle right there through inside clip, and then she's getting pushed with a ton of smoke. She goes off course, really drops a lot of angle there, goes offline. Now Matta takes a little bit of time to get into that final outside zone, but you can see Kelsey was just a bit offline here in the chase position. So Matta using that smoke screen to his benefit, as Kelsey had to surge forward to try to regain proximity. And then Matta was able to fill the second half of that outside zone with Kelsey just a bit behind here. As the judges digest both runs here from Kelsey Rowlings and Austin Matta in the top 16.
Oh yeah, what's a Matta or is it Rowlings rolling into the Great 8? Keep Rowlings, Rowlings, Rowlings. What? You like that? Yeah. More music puns. What's a Matta with you? Here we go, Kelsey Rowlings or Austin Matta. Slide them right for Matta or left for Rowlings. Chris Yule says Matta one more time from the Canadian judge Ryan Lontaine. And finally, Brian Eggert says Austin Matta getting the win. So Mr. Matta will move on. The second half of our Royal Purple Top 16. And Austin gets the win. Unfortunately, Kelsey Rowlings knocked out early here in top 16. 3 more battles here in top 16, and there is a look at the bracket. You can see Matta going against the winner of our next battle, Josh Robinson, Micah Diaz. As Josh Robinson built a new vehicle, so did Micah Diaz, but a lot of hype behind both these guys. I know Josh has been working out in Texas and building that vehicle. Micah, he's not too far from where actually I moved in Southern California, so he is definitely out at the track quite a bit, hangs out with the Hoonigans. Both these guys hanging out with the Hoonigans. And there it is, Riverside, California, holding it down against Perth, Australia. He came from the land down under. He just smiled the other day and handed me a Vegemite sandwich. It was really weird. I don't know, does he do that to you?
No, he has not. You're the lucky one.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider it lucky. I mean, I was hungry. I needed a snack, and he's just smiled. Here you go. Yeah, there you go. So Josh Robinson, the Robo-Roo graphic making its way from his Holden Ute now over to this great looking carbon fiber Eurofighter BMW. So is it the Aussie Fighter? The Euro Robo-Roo Aussie Fighter. Let's call it what it is. Going against Micah Diaz, hold fast. We'll see if he can hold fast and hold angle. Going against the tall drink of water that is Josh Robinson. Great angle for both these guys. Look at this. Oh, we got a battle here, but Micah looks like he has to. Oh no, I thought he was gonna miss that. I thought he was gonna check up and straighten out. Robinson off to the races. Pulling, no punches. Oh, and Robinson goes off course. You saw Robinson check up there. Man, these guys are squirrely. I feel like they were in a box and like you shook the cage and then like, just go. And they just came out springing, swinging, and slinging some dirt and some tire debris. Ryan, let's take a look at it from different angles here. Robinson circles it back around. As again, Micah Diaz, he had some mistakes here and there. Here it is.
Well, remember, the lead driver setting the pace here. Micah is right on the door there. Comes up a little bit shallow, but you can see a little bit of twitchiness there from the lead driver as Josh comes off that outside zone. Now you can see a separation, and right there, Micah makes a mistake independently, but Josh also goes off course there. So you can see the tight line there by Micah. Josh accelerates to outside zone number 3. Micah trying to drive through the smoke line as he transitions. He loses some angle there, comes up real tight, but then Josh out in front with no hindrances to bother him also makes a mistake by going off course there. So that run was just a little bit all over the place on the second half by both drivers, looking like things kind of happened independently, and it may have kind of started on that second outside zone as those drivers prepared to cross over and go into the latter part of the course.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Micah Diaz now out front. Let's see how he handles it. His first debut here in Pro 2. Happy to see him out here. Fills all of that outside zone. And here's, man, you can't even see Josh Robinson in that smoke. A straight line approach, Mike. Oh, and Robinson spins. Robinson spins as Micah Diaz fills that third outside zone, and now he's all by himself. Does not have the proper line there. Shaves some weight and drops that back bumper. Maybe got a little nervous, a little too excited. A lot of nerves, a lot of eagerness. But, man, unfortunately, came to a halt there halfway through, Ryan, in that Duralast. Again, the Aussie fighter, HGK body kit, that carbon Kevlar. A lot of those vehicles out in the drift world now. Again, shout out to Christos Blush.
Well, let's take a look at this again here, Jared. And you can see Micah Diaz gets out to a good jump. Nice initiation, fills that first outside zone completely. Now as Josh Robinson is going to transition into the smoke line, the front end looks like it's going to wash out a little bit here. He's coming in real tight and just pulls out of it there. That may have been him thinking about the car, not wanting to crash into Micah. I think if he would have followed the line a little bit closer, he might have been able to be right there next to him. But now it's in the judges' hands to find out where this battle is going to go.
Woo, 2 hot rods here. Speaking of hot rods, my boy Jeremy Bay and his lady Mara watching from Troy, New York. Shout out to them. Shout out to Jeremy and Mara. Thanks for watching. And who's watching from Australia or Riverside? Because right now Micah Diaz gets one of the judges going his way. 2, Micah Diaz gets the win, holding it down for the 909, the 951. Micah Diaz gets the victory. He advances on and takes out Josh Robinson. So Micah Diaz, in his maiden voyage in Pro 2 competition, makes his way into Grade 8. Ryan, his motto and his brand, hold fast. Who's impressed you so far, and any standout moments? I mean, overall for me, collectively, the Pro 2 talent pool has just grown tremendously over the years. That's what I really like.
Yeah, the progression over the years is certainly very apparent here, so to speak, this weekend, with the guys looking great in practice, but now it manifesting in our top 32 and into our top 16. And obviously nerves are going to play a role. You know, they're in front of a large audience trying to do everything they can to make the most of this weekend. But I'm loving what I'm seeing, a lot of aggression. We're not seeing guys run away in these big, huge gaps. We're actually seeing some pretty close battles here. And even though some mistakes are being made, it's very exciting for all of us to watch.
Yeah, fairly equally matched competitors, skill set, mental breakthroughs, and just really bringing it all together. Again, man or woman versus machine. As we move on to our next battle. This was, look at another couple BMWs, like the Roundel just filling the field. As next up will be not Jonathan Hurst and Ricky Hoffman, but it should be Blake Olsen and Chase Schmidt. That is our final battle of the top 16. As on the line, we are seeing Balake Olsen in that CoreWorks BMW, and then that is in the newer BMW chassis, and then Chase Schmidt in the E36. So again, Diaz will be going against Austin Matta, and now here we are, second to last battle of the Royal Purple Synthetic Oil Top 16. Get the thumbs up from our drivers, and we are ready to send Blake Olsen, a driving instructor out in Las Vegas himself. Great to see him out here competing. I know he's built a few different vehicles over the years, and this one looks great. Woo, look at that. Chase Schmidt right on the door of Blake Olsen. Blake, massive angle there, brings it on in, tidies it up. Chase Schmidt hitting that front clip into that third outer zone, transitioning now into that final zone. Looks like, man, Blake went really hard into that outer zone. I thought he was going to get into the dirt, and Chase Schmidt followed him, and it didn't seem like he had enough stopping power to keep him from not going into the dirt. So you saw Chase go out there and extend a little further than he wanted. Still an exciting run. Great way to start for both these drivers.
Yeah, Olsen, no joke on that initiation. Very snappy, comes off that first outside zone a little bit early, but you can see Schmidt there very tight, and especially through this section of the course where it's very easy to get pinched off. See, he makes that adjustment, and he falls back a little bit, but he's able to keep angle in the car, which is very important, and then get back on the throttle, try to chase him down. Olsen goes way off course there, so I have a feeling that the judges are gonna lean that air towards the lead driver because we saw Schmidt in close proximity. Here's Schmidt again, right there, tight, good adjustment. Keeps angle in the car as Olsen fires down this last section of the course, whipping through this final turn, and that's where we saw Olsen go off course, and Schmidt followed him. But I have a feeling they're gonna lean on the lead driver there in terms of how they're going to look at Schmidt versus Olsen in that final section. So we're gonna switch things up now, Jared. Chase Schmidt will go to the lead, and Blake Olsen will chase him down.
Chase Schmidt. like I said, just so many BMWs in the mix. I think the parts are available. They're getting inexpensive, so you don't feel as bad wadding them up. Here we go, Chase Schmidt out front. Blake Olsen really getting into the sandbox there, kicking up the dirt as Chase Schmidt wide swing. He tightens it up towards the latter portion of that sweep. Into that third outer zone, seeing a little brown cloud being thrown up. Blake Olsen getting aggressive, drops into formation. It's really hard to see from that angle, Ryan, if they are, because we talked about the edge of the track and where that final outer zone is. When the drivers come in hot, there's a striped area there. So where you see it, where there's no stripes, that is the outer zone. Where the stripes are, that's the edge of the track. So
yeah,
if you go beyond that, you know, you're off course.
You're very much off course. Now looking at this from above, Schmidt in the lead position this time. Olsen trying to chase him down. They're coming to this third and final, or the section of the course into the fourth outside zone, and then really bunching up there towards the end. And again, so impressed by these drivers. I mean, they're really dealing with some tight circumstances, and the cars seem just incredibly fast and well built. As Schmidt out front,
see Blake get into the dirt there.
Drops a tire there for a second, and this final transition, we could have had a big boom
angle
there.
That's a good angle, and
But
that's what I'm talking about.
You can see just how he was quite a ways off that last outside zone. So we're seeing it from all the angles. The judges can take a look into how each driver was able to fulfill their goals appropriately or not, and then make a judgment here by looking at the lead runs and the chase runs together, and then who did a better job overall.
And here come the judging verdict. Man, Blake Olsen, look at that. He takes his hat off. He is one handsome cat. Chases as well. Here we go. One more time from Chris Yule. Oh, Ryan Lontaine says Chase Schmidt. He's from the Pacific Northwest. Is he taking out Vegas' own? No. We are going one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Blake Olsen, Chase Schmidt, Las Vegas versus Pacific Northwest. Ryan, do you agree with that call?
I'm fine.
There it is. We're back, baby. Look at me. I don't know about you, Ryan, but you're crazy, man. You're fine. That's good. I love it. All right, so Ryan, you're fine?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Oh, I've missed you, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say, I've missed you too. That's usually like, Ryan, I missed you, bro.
I did all my salutatory stuff in the beginning with you, so now let's just get to business.
Well, but, wow, big word. I don't even know what that means. I'm offended. Should I be offended? Or?
No.
Oh, it's like salutations, like we've spoken about the how excited we are, and okay.
About each other, about being here, about how this is really fun. And
sorry, but maybe, again, love versus hate. Love always wins, bro. Let's move on so we'll revisit the one more time between Blake Olsen and Chase Schmidt. Now it's Jonathan Hurst versus Ricky Hoffman. So Jonathan Hurst from Paducah and Ricky Hoffman from Jackson, New Jersey. Royal Purple Synthetic Oil Top 16. This was to be our final battle of the Royal Purple Top 16. But we have that one more time. Could this go one more time as well? We already have our 6 drivers in the Grade 8, 2 more to join them. Jonathan Hurst will lead in that G37. Ricky Hoffman will chase him down in the matte black S14. Let's see what Hurst has got. You can see, is he turbo or supercharged? I can't see it right there. You see something sticking out of his bonnet. Achilles tire, the official tire of Pro 2. Jonathan Hurst throws it in, and it looks like Ricky Hoffman loses some ground against Hurst. Ricky diving in, taking a tighter line, which ends up not paying off for him as Hurst slingshots his way out of the third outer zone into the fourth, and Ricky scrubbing some speed there into that final outer zone. Man, unfortunate there for Ricky, just took the wrong line. Let's see if he got checked up. Let's see if he gets checked up, Ryan.
Let's take a look at this here. Hurst out front, really smoky, leaving outside zone 1, fills it, and unfortunately you can see that in the chase position, Hoffman just a little bit tight there on that line, and it pinches him off there, allows Hurst to get way out ahead, and then he's not filling any of the other zones in the chase position. He kind of slides into the last section of the course. So it looks like Hurst used that first run out to his advantage, put down a solid lead run, make Hoffman work for it. But now we'll switch things up here, and Jonathan Hurst and the spotter have got to be pretty happy with this performance so far. He's 50% of the way through. Can he put the nail in the coffin here, or will Ricky Hoffman be able to lay down a similar lead run and try to push this thing to a one more time?
The nail in the Hoffman? Is that what you just said?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
I did? Cool.
No, you didn't, but I just kind of like mashed some words together that you said and I made it my own. Because I mean, shout out to Matt Kaufman. I don't think he's here, right? I haven't seen him this weekend, but shout out to Matt Kaufman. Always love the dude. Here we go, Ricky Hoffman, Jonathan Hurst. Like I said, trying to win some of what he's got on the door. Talking about that cash. Jonathan Hurst, Ricky Hoffman out front. Let's see how he manages. Jonathan Hurst in his rear view mirror. Hoffman, yes! As comes into that first outer zone. Wow, a lot of smoke. How Hurst is navigating through that is beyond me. Hoffman still takes that tighter line even though he's out front. Needs to let it breathe a little bit to wrap it around, and Hurst dives in. See Ricky. You know, sometimes when you're in that lead position and you're really anxious, you overcook it and you go far by your own, like, kind of just excitement. And in that chase position, you kind of temper the flame, pedal it back a little bit, and get into the right line. Let's take a look at it.
Sometimes the nerves of wanting to run away, but Hurst didn't help himself there in the chase position. He was on the wrong line there in outside zone 1. He's got good proximity here. He gets choked up a little bit, as we can see Hoffman getting into outside zone 3, looking pretty solid here. So this is a good comeback performance, but look at this. He goes way offline in that final outside zone. And we saw the mistakes earlier on. Hurst, not the greatest chase on outside zone 1, and coming into inside clip number 1 as well. So the judges digesting both these runs, and you can see just how smoky it is and how it refracts off the sunlight as we transition into evening time here. So the judges and the drivers both have different challenges. The judges trying to figure out who did better overall, and the drivers dealing with not only ripping through the course, but having to deal with an incredible amount of smoke that's being generated by these Achilles tires.
Yeah, right on. As Formula Dread watching on, Luke's tuning in. He says shout out. Yeah, you like that? As we are waiting for the verdict of Hurst and Hoffman, and then we'll go back to Olsen and Schmidt. Are the judges' verdicts in? Mr. Ewell says Hurst. Ryan Lontaine says Jonathan Hurst, and Brian Eggert says it is unanimous. Jonathan Hurst gets the win. Jonathan Hurst advances on, taking out Ricky Hoffman. Look,
I think he explained it pretty well.
I don't know. just stick to building
Who
cars.
did it better, Essa, Forsberg, or Dai? Yeah,
Daijiro Yoshihara. Oh, Hamadan, do that.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Dai Yoshihara. I don't know if you caught it. Just last week at Pikes Peak International Hill Climb.
Yeah.
He won, what was the actual title? He is, what's the, I just wanted to look it up. I was looking up here on social media. I think it's, okay, it is the unlimited class. So he won the unlimited class, the Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
Congratulations, that's an incredible feat.
Also a new member to the Formula Drift family, Aaron Hoffman, formerly of Fast and Loud, the show. He actually works ArcLight Racing. He is operating the mechanics of Dean Carnage Carney, and he actually raced Pikes Peak as well in a Sierra car, so shout out to him. So Blake Olsen, Chase Schmidt one more time, Snoqualmie, Washington. Ryan, have you ever been to Snoqualmie?
I have not, no. I do love the Pacific Northwest, though.
I could see you living up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would just move up there, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, so Blake Olsen from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm joking, you don't have to move anywhere. All right, so as Blake Olsen and Chase Schmidt, again, saw Chase Schmidt last night. Man, it rained, it dumped here for like 5 minutes, and Chase was chased down by some rain. He got absolutely soaked when he went to go get some Mexican food last night, so I had to laugh at him, but here he is. He's dry, he is ready to run. He's going against a fierce competitor, Blake Olsen, Balake, Bay Olsen, throwing it down, and here we go. Here we go. Blake Olsen, Cora Works, BMW, woo-wee! Look at that angle there from Blake. Chase Schmidt not backing down, living up to his name. Chase Schmidt in the building as Blake Olsen gets all the way out to that third outer zone. Let's see what line they take. Blake takes that wide line. Chase dives in way too early. Ryan.
Olsen has got that, that initiation on point. We definitely got to see that again. Snappy initiation right into the beginning of that first outside zone and then stuck with it. And look at all the smoke these guys are putting down here. Think about what that's like coming right off. Watch this initiation. You can see he gets last and standing initiation, throws it great rate to angle, on throttle quickly here as the drone is chasing him down. We're coming across this first inside clip. Little bit of unrolling of angle there for Olsen out front. And then you can see Schmidt right there. Probably the biggest mistake so far in the chase position was just that last section as he cut the line very close. We'll take a look at it again here from this angle as they tighten up here through this inside clip. You can see a slight loss of angle there for Schmidt in the chase position and also an adjustment there for Olsen in the front. But watch this, he comes through the smoke line, transitions, does not get out there all the way.
Look at Blake, man.
And meanwhile, a little bit of a hiccup to get through the finish line, but you can tell that Schmidt was just not on the right line. He should have followed him out there to finish up that run, and he would have put himself in a better position.
All right, so Chase now out front. Blake G'd up from the feet up. He had a solid lead run from Blake Olsen. We are getting the word. You could see Mr. Sopa giving him the "Are you ready?" signal. Thumbs up, send it. Chase Schmidt out front. Blake Olsen catching that Achilles tire debris in his grill. All right, into that second outer zone goes Chase. There's that wide swing way off of that front clip, Ryan. Does set him up for that third outer zone properly. And Chase absolutely flying through the corner. Oh, and Blake does make a mistake. Blake did make a mistake there, Ryan, but is that enough to offset? I mean, Chase Schmidt, he said, dude, front clipping point, schmicking point. You know, he didn't care, man. He just absolutely did not give mind to that front clip. The one and only. Let's take a look at it from different angles.
So Schmidt, as your lead driver here, fills that first outside zone nicely. Good transition into the second. Olsen trying to chase him down, but a very wide swing there for Schmidt out front. So he goes past that inside clip. Olsen keeping the pressure on. Nice transition there. Oh, almost get into contact to finish things up. And here it is from the drone. You can see that very wide swing allows Olsen to be much tighter as they come into that third outside zone and into the fourth. And then right here, we get a little bit of a hiccup in the lead driver as Schmidt was not able to fill that outside zone. Olsen got very close to him as he was coming through that section with a lot of speed.
Right,
trying to tie it up there.
I'm making claims.
All right.
I'm making claims. Do you think that's right?
This is another close one for sure. It seems like the last section of the course coming into outside zone 4 is very challenging for everybody, especially when they're going that fast.
Going to the judges, the scores are in. Slide them left for Olsen, right for Schmidt. And Mr. Yule says Olsen, Lontaine, and Eggert say Blake Olsen from Las Vegas, and that CoraWorks BMW gets the win, and Blake Olsen unanimously gets the win. Good job by Chase Schmidt, forcing it to it one more time by both the drivers. Good execution, but Blake Olsen, I mean, he is one to watch. I mean, Olsen's going against Hurst, but the way Blake is executing from start to finish, he's coming in with that X factor. You know, just when you see the pro vehicles and the Pro 2 vehicles, that X factor is what really, you know, takes a competitor to a champion, to a victor, and Blake is showing that he has what it takes to get on top of the box here today. And here is how they ended up. Here is the Great 8 and how it's been shaped up. Brutskiy versus Rahimi, Matta versus Diaz, and on the other side of the bracket, Ryan.
Yeah, we've got Josh Love and Brian Wadman taking a look here at Blake Olsen and Jonathan Hurst. So a great set of drivers, and remember these names because we're going to get real familiar with them over the course of this season. I just expect that the driving is going to continue to progress and do much better over the course of these 4 rounds that we have and these double headers.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So that is how the Great 8 shaped up. Remember, tomorrow versus Hurst Rahimi from Nashville, Tennessee. So you can see everybody practicing social distancing up there in the stands. We are at a limited attendance basis, but with a massive facility such as Worldwide Technologies Raceway, you can see that we have ample room. So come one, come all. If you're here in the area, look into it and come join us. Here's the bracket in the Great 8. So Brutskiy versus Rahimi. We got Austin Matta versus Micah Diaz from Riverside. Ryan, we talked about it. Josh Love and Brian Wadman. And then we got, that's going to be Jonathan Hurst versus Blake Olsen.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. I mean, 32 was great. It was a good kind of, let's get it a feeling of what we're going to see here. Top 16 has been awesome, and now we're into the Grade 8. We're going to expect to see some really top-notch driving from these guys, and this is the first battle up that we're going to see between Dimitri Brutskiy and Hurst Rahimi. Who do you got here?
I like that Brutskiy is behind the wheel of a vehicle that ESSA Autosports has prepared. I mean, we've seen Michael ESSA win a championship. He's from Belarus. He's a dynamic driver. We've seen him in competition, but I would say this is probably the best prepared vehicle he's ever driven. But that being said, Hurst Rahimi has progressed over the years from just seeing him drive at amateur events. Here he is in Pro 2. He looks more polished, and the vehicle looks a little more dialed, a little more refined. So, I mean, the way Brutskiy's driving, Rahimi's got to bring it. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay, here we go. Brutskiy out front. Rahimi in the chase position. What do we got, fellas? Never settle. It says it on the front bumper. Hurst chasing him down. He needs to apply that pressure. We need to see that proximity. Rahimi taking himself out a little bit there. You can hear him popping and locking, and there is Rahimi. Stranded out there just outside zone 3, and Brutskiy and Rahimi shuts her down, so that will be a big advantage there. Didn't seem that Brutskiy did anything to throw Hurst Rahimi off, so I have to assume that something went wrong with Rahimi's vehicle.
And pulling off to the side like that is another indication. Brutskiy out front, let's watch him first. He gets a good initiation, stays in the zone for a pretty long period of time. You can see Rahimi was on a different kind of line, and then right here he loses some angle, you hear something pop, and then he pulls out a drift. Now at this point, Brutskiy does need to finish the run. He's going to do that with no problem, so he is going to have at least a judge score on run number 1, whereas Hurst Rahimi is going to be sitting with an incomplete, at least at first pass there, and we will find out shortly. I'm sure somebody's going to come tap us on the shoulder to say maybe I'm going to take a competition timeout here. I see some eyes moving around and some movement, so he may do that, or he may go right back to the line. He may have just misshifted there, and there's no problem with the vehicle. But nonetheless, he will have that competition timeout.
Just going for it. Says, you know what? All right, I made a mistake. I'll take my licking. But now, like I said, he needs to bring it now even more than ever with that massive deficit. And Brutskiy, you can't sandbag here, but he's got a little confidence. He's going to be in a much better position than he was just one half of a run ago. So, second half of this battle, Hurst Rahimi out front, big deficit. Brutskiy, some confidence in his back pocket. leaving out of the start chicane. Man, Rahimi just fires out of the cannon. And Rahimi off to the races. Nothing left to lose right now. He's going to leave it all on the track, maybe off track even as well, as Rahimi from the windows to the wall. And now into that final outer zone. Ryan. Whoa, and Brutskiy giving him a little tap there. It was beyond the finish line. You can see Brutskiy
This is
wave to the crowd.
It's definitely why the replays are important from various angles. I think that was past the finish line, but obviously that is going to come into a question here. Just remember, we've got Rahimi with that incomplete. He's trying to put down a solid lead run. He's a bit off that first outside zone. The second, also, he misses it. Now, that looks like that kind of messed Brutskiy up, expecting him to go a little bit deeper there into that second outside zone. Now, coming through this very fast part of the course, navigating through the smoke line. Right here comes Brutskiy. Oh, and you know what? It looks like Rahimi started to cut across and maybe slowed down a little bit there.
So you're saying Hoofman's at fault?
I think so. I'm not sure if the judges are going to ask for another replay or not, but that's kind of what it looked like. Maybe from above here on the tower, we can get a look at that in a little bit of a closer way. But it definitely looked like that there was a little bit of slowdown there from Rahimi in the lead position that may have caused that. But it also looked like it was past the finish line, so I'm not sure that it's even going to factor in.
Seemed like it was a human nature for that to happen. No? All right. I'll be here all weekend, folks.
So here's a look at the replay once again. This is from very close to where we are, Jared. Now coming into this last section, watch Hoofman here. He's going to transition. He's going to be off just on the inside of that outside zone. So feeling it okay here. Now watch the front. Looks like he's kind of slowing down there a little bit, but Brutskiy was coming up, and we were right. It did happen after the finish line. So it may not factor in at all since the judging stops right at that finish line. So here we go.
Yeah,
scores are in.
I don't think it's an issue. Here we go. Brutskiy and Rahimi. Slide him left for Mr. Brutskiy, right for Rahimi, and there it is, 1-2. So Yule, Lantain, and Egger, says Dmitry Brutskiy. He's going to the Final Four. Congratulations to Mr. Brutskiy. Unfortunately, Rahimi is knocked out. So that ISC, Achilles Tire, ESSA Autosports, Boost Brigade, BMW is moving on to the Final Four. Look at that. You can see the celebratory fist pump there as we move on to our next battle of this Achilles Tire Top 8. Josh Love, Brian Wadman. Two gentlemen ready to do battle. Again, I definitely don't want to cross Wadman. He's a big dude. But Josh Love, he's ready to throw down as well. And the way he is driving, Wadman needs to bring it. Ryan, he was a name that you brought up early on. There was a lot of buzz about Wadman coming to us from Connecticut.
And the buzz is pretty seemingly paid off
Right.
here. It's lived up to expectations as we make our way into this Grade 8 battle here. And also with Josh Love, very impressive. I mean, he's battled through some good guys. He's looked strong. I mean, a lot of these drivers, many of us are not used to seeing in the same way that we are with the pro drivers. So we're getting used to these guys, seeing their driving style, what they're good at, what they need to improve on. But overall, this has been a great competition so far. And now we'll see Josh Love battle Brian Wadman.
Yeah, Love had to go through Stuke, and then we just saw most recently Hateley, and Wadman took out Lynn, and now Dustin Miles, and here we go. Looks like a restart.
Cone.
This is, okay, a cone was knocked down as I was rattling off. So, yeah, like I said, Wadman had to go through Joe Lynn, Dustin Miles, and now here he is going against Love. Who do you have?
You know, I think
seeing what they've, how they've gotten here.
They both have battled people pretty much all the way through, right? I don't think that either of them have had a bye. So they've been working hard throughout this competition so far. You can see the path to where they are now, and just getting a little bit of a rough start there, get that strike. I don't think anybody will strike out today, but the nerves as we get deeper into competition certainly playing a role here, as Josh Love will be our lead driver and try this one more time.
Love will be out front, Wadman in the chase position. A cone was hit, hence the restart. We've only seen one ever 3 strikes and you're out of there, and that was in, did we see 2?
Somebody claimed too. I know the one you're talking about in
Yeah,
Canada,
the one was
right?
in Canada, yeah. So here we go. Love out front, big initiation from Love. Seems that he is rising to the occasion once again. Love wraps it around that inside flip. Wadman looking very loose in the back. Now brings it in that final outside zone. Wadman. And Love powers all the way through. That's the proper line. How you kind of want to bring it up. You don't want to throw the block there as you cross the finish line.
It was a big e-brake pull there at the end by Love to kind of save himself from going off course. He handled it pretty well there, but again, the speed coming out of outside zone 3, just incredible. As we take a look at this again, getting out of that first outside zone, both drivers pretty close together here. Josh Love hits that second outside zone, but Wadman driving right next to him, trying to mimic that angle. Love on the throttle, full smoke, little bit of shimmy there from Wadman in the chase position coming through this last section. And you can see a great job by Josh getting to that outside zone. Wadman following closely here. Here it is from another angle as we watch both drivers cross over. You can see good mimic there. Josh mashing the throttle, a little bit of an adjustment there as we pointed out from Wadman. And then through this final outside zone, he fills it right to the edge, just drops a tire. Wadman kind of cuts up a little bit. He's not able to fill the zone completely, but still the proximity was there, and a very exciting run by both drivers as we see the smoke finally clearing from this course.
Yeah, a little bit of wind breeze, not much, but supposedly it's going to get hotter tomorrow and into Sunday. I know there's a heat wave. It seems like it's been a heat wave the last few weeks, man, as Ryan's getting tranced out. Great tan, though, Ryan. You look great. Looks like we got another restart here. Looks like Wadman jumped the light. No cones were hurt in the making of the start. Matt Sopa on a ropa, that's what we call him, you know. Got a couple giggles here up in the judging booth, so that's good. That's what really, at the end of the day, I just want people to have a good time.
You want people to be happy.
I love Joy.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
Reverend Lovejoy. He's a good dude. Simpsons character, right? Reverend Lovejoy. All right, so Wadman, Josh Love. Here we go. Let's see if we get a clean start. You can see the lights right in between both of them. They're all on and now extinguished. And when there's extinguisher, oh, and look at, so as a chase driver, you can't hit the cone. It's the lead driver that will restart it. As we transition through, Wadman, wide swing, but whoop, brings it on back. He lassos that front clip and brings it on back. As now into that final outer zone, Wadman and Love and Wadman. Love almost giving him a bit of love tap,
Man,
but does not. What do you think?
These guys are no joke.
I saw you shaking your head, man.
Another great battle here. I mean, we usually expect to see some separation from Pro 2 drivers, but almost every battle has had some semblance of proximity, or in this case, just a very tight battle all the way through. Look at that, initiating together. That's
Yes.
Pro 1 level type stuff. As Wadman in the lead position clears that second outside zone, Josh Love right there on the inside. Super stoked to see how great these guys are doing. Very wide sweep there for Wadman. Here comes Josh on the inside, trying to close the door. Last section of that outside zone. Incredible job there by Josh. And Wadman just smooth on that first outside zone. Very clearly can be seen there
Feeling like all of it from start to finish.
how
man.
deep he was, how consistent it was. The initiation was nice. Little tap there on that inside clip from Josh, but just barely. And man, these guys are really putting on a show for us here today, Jared. And these haven't been easy calls, but the judge has been confident, you know, with what they've brought so far. We've seen a couple split decisions, but overall, man, these Pro 2 drivers are absolutely incredible here in the 2020 season.
All right, waiting for the judge's verdict. Who's going against Brutskiy in the final four? You can see Love waiting there in the wings. Wadman in the S14. Got the Super Doof kit there, the 2F Performance on Wadman's vehicle. Let's see the Super Doof sticker on the back windscreen. Shout out to Paco and Chris Soren. What's up, fellas? AZ holding it down. Okay, so Ryan, of course, the announcer's curse. You're like, all right, you know, hey, do you need to see any replays? No, feeling confident. All right, well, you know what? As just as you say that, they would like to see a side-by-side replay here. So again, that side-by-side, BC Racing the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. Who's going to be going for gold here? Who's going into the Final Four? Ryan?
Well, here it is. Get a good look at it now as we take a look at the side-by-sides. Different angles between both the right and the left, but giving you a good idea of what this looks like. But we're seeing here Wadman in the lead position on both runs. So this is every angle of Wadman
yep.
in the lead position. And what the judges are going to want to see is with Love in the lead position on one versus the other. And that'll give that side-by-side.
Yeah, that's fine. No, you're fine.
All right, so and as the judges are requesting, again, the side-by-side ideally with the alternating drivers leading. And here we go. It looks like the judges say no more, fam. Here we go. Wadman gets the vote from Chris Yule. Lontaine says Love, and Brian Eggert says Josh Love. Josh Love, 2-1, gets the Love and moves on to the Final Four. A great showing by Wadman, but looks like Mr. Love, Josh Love, moves on. Eggert, I'm going to go down to you and wrap out with you. 2-1. Eggert and Lontaine say it. Chris Yule says Wadman. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, both drivers did really good on their leads. I think what it came down to for me was just Wadman on his chase. He came in way too shallow through outer zone 4, and if he had just stuck it out wide, I think we would have had it one more time. But they did great on lead. It just came down to his chase.
Yeah, and the way Love is driving, I mean, both of them, like Ryan Sage brought it up and said, just, I mean, the way they're initiating, I mean, are you impressed with the Pro 2 driving right now?
Oh yeah, these guys have definitely stepped up, especially even from yesterday. Watching practice, they were learning a new course. We've got a lot of new guys this season, so what they were able to learn yesterday and apply today has been greatly increased, and I think they're doing a great job, so I can't wait for the rest of the season.
Right on, yeah, it's a great perspective. Thank you, Brian Eggert, one of our 3 judges as we are officially halfway through our Achilles tire top 16. Brutskiy and Love are in the Final Four, excuse me, the Grade 8, because now we're forging the Final Four. Austin Matta versus Micah Diaz. Shakopee versus Riverside, California. Practically the same age, 26-27, just probably just a few months apart as we are seeing Micah Diaz and Austin Matta. So Matta went through Josh Reynolds, went through Kelsey Rowlings, and now here he is against Micah Diaz. We saw Micah go against the Euro fighter. Get it? Kangaroo, Euro. All right, so Josh Robinson against Micah Diaz. Micah, hold fast. He is out front. And Austin Matta in that chase position. Ooh, man, a lot of Brown being thrown up there. What can Brown do for you? Not much. If you're a drifter, you want to keep it where the rubber meets the road. Now bring it into that third outer zone. Micah Diaz transitions into that outer zone. Nice fluid approach there as Austin making his presence felt there, kind of getting aggressive in the back end of Diaz.
So another very aggressive run there by both these drivers in the Grade 8. Matta versus Diaz with Matta out front. And you can see the smoke laid down by both these drivers just now clearing. As we take a look at the replay from above, Matta snappy but drops those tires into the dirt area. Diaz not phased as he wraps back around. There's Matta hitting that inside clip, but Diaz sticking with him as the drone follows him all the way around, and they drive through their own smoke from initiation, and you can see right here as Matta pushes out wise, Diaz has to make that adjustment. Here it is from leaving outside zone 1, going into outside zone 2. Diaz trying to close the door on this inside clip. Matta back on throttle, reaching out and staying as deep as he can into that third outside zone, and then nice fluid transition into the final section, but goes way off course there. And for Diaz, he makes a good adjustment, doesn't follow him completely off, but then you can see he gets pinched up a little bit there past the finish line.
All right, so here we go. Right on, shout out to Scott. Thanks for watching, homeboy, as we are getting prepared. Okay, so we have a competition timeout here. We have a competition timeout.
We got our NGK competition timeout.
Yeah, that's what I understand. So Do spark plugs time out? They sure do, and timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling and provides the best engine performance, it ensures less repair time and can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about OE-suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engine. NGK, the ignition specialist. This has been brought to you by NGK and the NGK competition timeout. As Matta, you can see him over there in the pits. And in addition to providing spark plugs for domestic and import vehicles, NGK produces spark plugs for motorcycle, power sports, marine, and outdoor power equipment. NGK also offers complementary ignition product lines, including ignition coils, resistor caps, spark plug wires, and high-performance cables. For reliable performance, trust NGK, the ignition specialist. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn how NGK is redefining the category with high ignitability technology through its ruthenium HX spark plugs. That's a big word. I like high ignitability. I have never heard that word, but it sparked my interest. Dad jokes, am I right? As we are getting prepared and Matta is off to the side, we'll see, maybe we could pull up Mr. Olsen and Hurst if they are ready to go. Seeing them off in the distance, they are on the start line. Look at that. So we are moving on to our next battle. That is not Micah Diaz. This is right now Blake Olsen and Jonathan Hurst. A little glitch in the system, if I may, as Matta's going to work on his ride and hopefully get it back up. But man, to tell you what, Ryan, Blake Olsen, Jonathan Hurst needs to bring all of it. Oh, looks like a cone is hit. That is a restart. That is a restart. As I'm glad there's no contact made and no tires burned. As Jonathan Hurst and Olsen head back to the start line. Ryan, Blake Olsen, definitely impressed with his aggressiveness. I think Hurst, if he can mimic just his line, I think he can hold on. But when you get to that lead run, like you said, Blake is really executing that initial initiation.
And I'm sure the battle with Schmidt, with Chase Schmidt, is going to be talked about. It was a really close battle. Went to that one more time. And now he's got Jonathan Hurst. And as the lead driver here, he does need to get out cleanly through the chicane. Had that strike here. He'll fix it up the second time around. And for Hurst, going up against that really fast vehicle of Blake Olsen, he needs to get a good jump. He may want, to try to give himself a little bit of breathing room, depending on how much research he's done on Blake and how quickly Blake gets out of that start line. Really important to take away those notes from practice, kind of understand your competitors, their tendencies, how quick they are in certain sections of the course, and use that as you prepare for battle. So here we go.
All right, Worldwide Technology Raceway playing host to round one of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship. Achilles tire, the official tire of the Pro 2 Championship. Blake Olsen, no cones hit, send it, here we go. Blake throws it in. Yes, sir, all of that outside zone, transitions, massive angle from Blake, and brings it and tightens it up right to that inside clip. Out to the third outer zone, now to that final outer zone, and he is just right on the razor's edge, Ryan. I was actually not watching the monitor. This last outside zone is right below us in the announcing tower, and watch the replay, man. He was right on the edge of the outside zone and the striped edge of the track. It was really impressive.
We talked about Hurst trying to make sure that he gets a good jump here. We know how fast Olsen is. Olsen, pretty decent job on that first outside zone, but comes off a little bit early. Hurst sticking with him here through this section where things tighten up, but then right there, he gives an opportunity to Olsen to really blast out front. He tightened up a little bit too much and did not have the grip coming out of that corner. And then this last section here, Jared, as you were looking down, filling that outside zone, here it is from the first outside zone right after the start line. Both drivers looking pretty good here so far, but watch as they tighten up, they're going to scrunch here.
Scrunch.
And then
like it.
You're going to see Hurst fall back and Olsen blast forward. So the judges will definitely take a deep look at that one. And then for Olsen, just right at the edge of the course. It comes off a tiny, tiny bit early, but Hurst was not on the same line. So once again, another solid lead and chase run by both these drivers, and they will switch things up.
That was impressive, man. That was a great run from both the drivers. I think Blake might have a little bit of advantage there, but now it comes down to how can he chase him down. Jonathan Hurst in this G37. Remember, we have the other half of the Micah Austin Matta battle. Hopefully Matta can fix his vehicle in the allotted time and the NGK Performance competition timeout as Hurst initiates. Hurst, big angle there. Can he save it? He whips it back. As Jonathan Hurst goes to that third outside zone. And now into the final outside zone. Let's see how, oh, it looks like Blake. Something happened there from the third to the final outer zone. You can see Jonathan Hurst go all the way up the wall, up the bank, excuse me, almost hitting the wall. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan. From the third outside zone to the final outside zone, something was afoot there for Blake Olsen.
Yeah, let's take a look at Jonathan Hurst as he takes the lead. He stays a little bit longer and deeper in that first outside zone. Olsen with him, good transition here, falls back behind him a little bit. Now he's trying to gain some proximity as he falls back. Hurst looking good, consistent out front. Olsen, oh, you know what? He had a problem on his transition. He did not transition to the final outside zone. He came up a little bit tight there. Hurst goes a little bit deep as well, but that was a much more noticeable mistake from Olsen in the chase position. And Jared, let's take a look at it from this angle. We saw it pretty clearly from the last, but from the drone, you can see the transition right here through the smoke. He gets caught up, and he's not able to fill that final outside zone with Hurst. He has to come up short, and then nearly they almost crossed the finish line together. But a mistake there seemingly from Olsen, who had a solid run to start with, and now it's in the judges' hands.
Yeah, right. As again, just on that final transition, and this might be a case where he beat himself. You see Jonathan Hurst minus that taillight on that passenger side on the G37. Blake Olsen shredded that back bumper. Shredded, bro. The Coro Works BMW E92. Let's see if the judges have the verdict. Here we go. Slide him left for Olsen, right for Jonathan Hurst. So it looks like Chris Yule says Jonathan Hurst, so does Ryan Lontaine, and Jonathan Hurst will get the victory. So unfortunately for Blake Olsen, who just seemed like the guy to beat, I would say beat himself on that transition. Very unfortunate turn of events there for Blake Olsen. But you know who's stoked is Jonathan Hurst, Ryan.
Yeah, and we definitely need to point out how well Jonathan was driving in addition to the mistake that was made by Olsen. I mean, he looks fast. He came back really strong with a solid lead run, and had Olsen not made that mistake, I think we would still be digesting the lead and chase run comparisons, because it was looking pretty good there for both drivers. And sometimes those noticeable mistakes like that are just really all it takes for you to get knocked out in a round where you had a real possibility to move on.
Okay, here we are, the second half of this battle. Now it looks like Matta will lead Micah Diaz giving chase. So Micah in the BMW, the hold fast BMW. And Matta in the lead. So he did fix his vehicle in the allotted time. Ryan, already 3 drivers in the final 4. Like I said, we'll have you home by dinner time. Ma, Meatloaf, what you doing back there? Never know. Here we go. Matta out front. Diaz in the chase position. Diaz gives himself a little bit of room, but sometimes that will end up costing you. Matta into that front clip. Well done. Diaz tucks in. Whoa, a little late transition for Diaz, but he holds on to it. Talking about the angle and into that outer zone. Ryan, that was a very late transition by Diaz in the chase.
Yeah.
And
Matta also nearly went off course on outside zone number 2. So let's take a closer look here as the smoke really starts to become a factor with this sunlight. Here's Matta out front. Great job on outside zone 1. Diaz, much tighter line, doesn't follow him. He's almost going to get pinched right here on this inside clip, but then watch Matta. Nearly goes 2 tires off. Now Diaz in the chase position. is trying to find the right area to transition, gets a little bit sloppy there, then finds the pocket towards the end. So we saw some near massive issues for Matta out front, and we'll see it again from this angle. But look at Diaz really straightens up there, and right there he drops 2 tires. It's a great save,
You mean
actually.
Matta straightened up? You said Diaz straight up.
No, Diaz straightened up right after inside clip number 1, but
Okay.
Matta went 2 tires off on outside zone 3. I'm saying it was a good save for him because
Right.
it could have been much worse than that.
Yes, most definitely.
And we are hearing the judges wanting to take a look at the replays one more time.
Now keep in mind, this was the second run of this battle. Matta called that NGK Spark Plus competition timeout. And now who's going to be going against Jonathan Hurst in the Final Four? Already in the Final Four, Dimitri Brutskiy. We have Josh Love and one of these drivers plus Jonathan Hurst in the Final Four. Remember, tell your friends to tune in tomorrow for round 1 of the Pro Championship, and of course Sunday for round 2 of the Pro Championship. Here is a look at the replay. Matta out front, Diaz in the chase position. Here it is once again, Ryan.
Yep, the second run here. Judges want to take a look. Let's watch. This is the part where I was saying he was shallowing up. Right there, you can see big correction.
Yep.
And then our attention is drawn to the lead driver who drops 2 tires but saved it pretty well. But there was a big correction there in the chase by the chase driver Diaz. So I think that's what the judges wanted to look at there. We'll verify that. We can bring on Brian just to give us some insight depending on how these scores go and whether or not there's a unanimous vote or we have some split decision going on here.
And we'll throw up a graphic to support this, but tomorrow 11:45 round top 32 begins, and then at 3:45 is when top 16 all the way to trophy ceremony will commence, and that's the same time for Sunday as well. But right now, Austin Matta gets Chris Yule's verdict, as well as, oh man, unfortunately for Micah Diaz, he's knocked out. Austin Matta gets the victory, and Brian Eggert says one more time. So Austin will advance on. He's going to be going against Jonathan Hurst as we are getting the verdict from our judges. And here is how the Final Four shaped up. Brutskiy versus Love, Matta versus Hurst. So Final Four is here, bro.
And it's worth mentioning that in this 2020 season, there will be a 3rd place battle.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
okay.
that is obviously has to happen because there's no qualifying, there's no differential for it to take place. You can't just hand it to somebody on the basis of how
the card they chose.
The card they chose, yeah. So we've got Dimitri Brutskiy and no, it's Love and Brutskiy, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
that's correct. And Matta versus Hurst. And then the losers will go a consolation bracket. Previous years of competition, we'd always say no 3rd place battle. It goes to the highest qualifying driver of the consolation battle. But now we're actually going to see the head-to-head battle for 3rd place.
Yeah, and
So
that's going to be interesting because we have not done that for a very, very long time. And usually what ends up happening is people know, hey, I really want to get on that podium. I don't have to have my car ready for 2 weeks. So it's just like the finals, basically.
Yeah.
People, they want to get that podium spot.
Oh,
And we always have a lot of wrecks in the 3rd place battle. But it's been a long time since then, so I think we're going to see, obviously, strong, very aggressive battles, but you know they're going to give that just that little bit extra because it's worth wrecking the car if you have to.
Wow, okay. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but yes, you know, ideally, don't wreck the car. And I was just informed by Brian Eggert, our judge, that says Dimitri Brutskiy, the first run he's had of that vehicle on this track was in competition. He had no practice, went straight for it, and he goes right in, and here he is in the Final Four. So hats off to Belarus's own Dimitri Brutskiy, as he's in that M3 going against a little bit older BMW, the E36, Josh Love, but still a very capable machine from Denver, Colorado. So Belarus versus Colorado. So we got Love versus Brutskiy. Newer BMW, ESSA Autosports prepared BMW, going against the Love E36. We are getting thumbs up from both the guys. Here we go, Sopa on Europa, about to send it. Our first battle of the Final Four. And here we go, Brutskiy diving in, Love into formation. A little bit later initiation from Love. flicks it back in that second outer zone. Nice job by Brutskiy. Love not as aggressive as I've seen in the previous battles, and Brutskiy running away with it. Let's see if Love can bring it on in. Ooh, man, he almost got to the side, that back left quarter panel of Brutskiy, but he comes out unscathed. So, Ryan, let's take a look at it again here. What are you thinking?
Well, that's that surging attack towards the end that we tend to see when drivers feel like they're falling back behind, leaving outside zone 3. And that was the first time I've seen Love a little bit shooken up there. He didn't get the greatest jump or deep into that first outside zone. Brutskiy, very consistent. You can see how smooth he is, hitting that inside clip, getting into outside zone 3. Love trying to chase him down. Brutskiy actually tapped the wall there. And then you can see that surging attack by Love towards the last section of the course. Watch Brutskiy here. Let's see if we can catch him tapping the wall. He holds it together really well.
Yeah, from that original angle, I did not see it. Looks like our drone shot gets
smoked out. But that was a great lead run by Brutskiy. Love had a couple little mistakes, fell behind a little bit, but now he's going to move to that lead position here, and Brutskiy will have to chase him down. Here's that second look. Let's see if we can, as you get out of that second outside zone, coming through into the third, you can see Love having a tiny struggle there, and then watch on this transition, there's going to be a little tap right there.
Yeah.
You see that? Just taps it, but he made it look good.
Yeah,
made it look good.
A little more than a little, so like maybe a schmedium.
Yeah.
But then it didn't affect the attitude of the vehicle too much.
That's correct. Yeah, the attitude kind of stayed in there. It was almost unnoticeable, but nonetheless, obviously the judges will take that into account.
Not so much a chip on his shoulder, but a chip on his back bumper here, as now Josh Love will lead. Dmitry Brutskiy will give chase. Who's going to the finals? Who's guaranteed a podium spot? Remember, the winner goes to the finals, fighting for first or second, and we do have, it is reinstituted, a consolation battle for third place. I know a lot of the drivers, both Pro and Pro 2, like the consolation battle. I mean, why not? Just keep on keeping on, fellas. Here we go. Josh Love out front. Brutskiy, Belarus, in the BMW. ISC suspension. Listen to these things purr. Love initiates. Brutskiy, great proximity from him, transitioning out into that front clip. Love, you can see locking him up, brings it around. Brutskiy tapping the inside clip, doesn't knock it all the way over. Now into that final outer zone. Love does not get in the wall, but Brutskiy, you can hear Love and those guys lifting a little bit to get into that final zone.
So Love trying to charge back here, put down that lead run that's going to give him a good shot. We have seen a number of one more times this event so far, and they've been all deserving in my opinion. Here's Love, approach to the outside zone, early initiation. Brutskiy right on him as Love leaves the first, into the second. Good transition, nice mirroring by Brutskiy. Brutskiy surging forward and pulls back a little bit, but keeping the pressure on Love as he transitions, beautifully executed by Love right at the edge of outside zone number 4, and a great lead run overall for Love as he comes back here, taking the fight to Dmitry Brutskiy, and Brutskiy surging forward. They're kind of Daigo Saito-esque there to try to gain proximity, but wasn't matching the angle completely on that inside clip. Now Brutskiy comes back, stays tight there, but it's a great lead run that allows that by Josh Love. So good battle overall, another tough one for the judges here.
Okay, so who is going to the finals? Who's going to the consolation third place battle? See what you got, fellas. Talking to you, the judges. Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Eggert. Here is another replay for the judges to scrutinize, analyze, and eventually deliberate.
Eye in the sky here. This is where I thought Brutskiy got a little bit, a tiny bit less angle there as he kind of tightened up. It's a great chase run. I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs here now, but Love out front, beautiful execution on that final outside zone, and really for the majority of his lead run, did not make too many mistakes. So let's go to the judges and find out who's moving on. Eventually
we'll find out who wins, but are we? One more time from Chris Yule, and it's a one more time battle. So we are seeing uno más tiempo from Brutskiy and Love. So We are back at it again for the Brutskiy and Love, and we'll go over to the other side of the battle. So Matta and Hurst, they are our next dynamic duo to do battle. These guys will throw on some fresh Achilles tires, and they will be going into competition. All right, so now here we go with Jonathan Hurst, who just took out Blake Olsen, and we got that of Austin Matta taking out Micah Diaz. All right, the top 4, Link ECU. Link ECU, the official engine management of Formula Drift, and of course of Pro 2. Una vez más. Thank you, sir. Jonathan Castro. Gracias, amigo. There it is, the Link Engine Management top 4. So we got Shakopee versus Paducah. Sound like superhero names. Shakopee versus Paducah. Here we go. Austin Matta versus Jonathan Hurst in the Link Engine Management top 4. We already saw the first portion of the top 4, and now the second half. That's Jonathan Hurst leading, Austin Matta giving chase. And Matta had that issue. Don't know exactly what it was. Did we find out, Ryan? I don't believe so, the issue. He had the NGK competition timeout as Hurst, he's out front, brings it around. You can see that big G37. And Matta, big angle. Unwinds it a little bit here now. Oh, and Matta with that late flick into that final outer zone. That was a really interesting line there, Ryan.
Yeah, he got kind of stuck almost at the angle that was headed towards the wall, and then tried to pull it back. He actually got out of it okay, but it was definitely a mistake there. As we see Jonathan Hurst, our lead driver here out front. He's going to be doing a pretty good job here going into that second outside zone. Matta surging forward as both drivers leave that inside clip. Hurst getting into that third outside zone. Matta on a much tighter line, and this is where he gets caught up here, and he kind of has to make that weird transition into the final section of the course where he comes up on a tighter line here against Jonathan Hurst. Jonathan doing a pretty good job on that second outside zone. And then right there you can see he gets back on the throttle, pushes out to this third. Matta's on a tighter line here. He gains proximity, but he was not able to fill that third. And there's that mistake, which also keeps him on a tighter line relative to Jonathan Hurst in that final section.
All right, let's alternate the order here, excuse me, as we are seeing Matta out front and Hurst in the chase. Spotters up here in the announcing tower, just right next to us, as the smoke definitely thickens, man. So the wind has definitely died down, so the smoke lingering. Not too much of an issue, as we will not be going under the lights. So obviously the thicker the smoke, but also when you look directly into the sun, it definitely becomes a problem. We got to restart here. All right. See if we can get a clean start here on the second half of this battle. And there's that smoke. So it is just absolutely lingering, Ryan. If everybody could just start fanning or blowing the smoke out of here, we could advance on. And here we go, the second half of this battle. Remember, we have the one more time. We'll go back to Brutskiy and Love, and now Matta and Hurst. Second half of this battle. You see Hurst get a little jump, which is allowed in order to time it. Matta rips out of the start chicane. Hurst jumping up. Whoa! Looks like he almost was going to slide past Matta around that front clip. Matta, some wavering into that third outer zone. Now coming to that final outer zone. Flirts with the wall. Both of them keeping it off it. Hurst almost gets into the wall, but comes up a little shallower than Matta on that final outer zone, Ryan.
Yeah, both drivers very aggressive there, and what an incredible save by Jonathan Hurst. He has really improved as a driver from the last time that we saw him, and we're seeing that from just about everybody in this Pro 2 field. As we take a look at the replay here, Matta gets out to a good jump here. You can see Hurst hurts himself here on this transition. He gets lost in the smoke, and right there he has a good save that we saw from that other angle. You can see a mistake there from Matta. He's really moving those front wheels around, trying to find and position himself for this last inside clip, this last outside zone, which he blows off the line. And that's where Hurst had that good save, but he's on a much tighter line. So the chase run is not paying off for Jonathan Hurst here. But the lead run filled with mistakes for Matta coming into that outside third zone. And then the final section here, he's going so fast, he just blows off the course, hitting that final marker on the 4th OZ.
Sweet James brought to you by DJ Ryan Sage. Want to appreciate that. Shout out on the 1s and 2s. Waiting the outcome here. Who's going to the finals? Or are we going another one more time on this side of the Final Four bracket? Matta or Hurst? Remember Brutskiy and Love. Looks like they are ready to warm up their tires. I could see them right before the burnout box. Looks like a lot of the teams. What's up? How we doing? Looks like who's that? Derek Madison's fam. All right. Man, these guys are really deliberating, Ryan. Was it? Do you think it was that close in your mind?
Mistakes back and forth, you know, could turn
Yeah.
things a certain kind of way, and you know the severity of a mistake certainly going to play a role in the judges' minds.
Good point, my friend.
It's really, you know, it's a counterbalance, right? And trying to find whether or not you've got enough justification as a judge to go one way or the other and stick to your result and be able to explain it how you came up with it, whether it's driver A or driver B or one more time.
Analyzing every little nuance, every mistake, and looks like the judges do have an outcome here. Right for Hurst, left for Matta, and looks like Yule says Hurst. Oh, one more time from Lontaine, and Brian Eggert says Jonathan Hurst gets the win. So Austin Matta is knocked out, but hey, don't fret, Mr. Matta, as we will be seeing. Look at that, there they are, the sand people. They're pumped. Right? Did they look like it? They look like a little Tusken Raider-esque, if I may. All right, so congratulations, Hurst. You are guaranteed a podium. Is it going to be first or second? We'll find out. So now we'll go back to Brutskiy and Love.
So there we go. That's a much better look at what we are dealing with here coming into this final battle, depending on what happens here with Brutskiy and Love, and then of course our third place battle that will happen between the drivers that lose in the final four. So obviously one will be Matta and the other will be one of these two drivers. One goes to the finals, one goes to the third place battle.
Okay, and there you can see the stats. We saw them earlier, this one more time battle. Man, Love, he's gone a couple one more time battles throughout today. So he is seeing a lot of track time here, which should fare well for him. But here is Brutskiy, and we talked about it earlier. The first time he drove this course was in competition. So Brutskiy just gaining more knowledge with every turn of the tires. Here we go. Looks like another restart here from Brutskiy. We'll bring him back to the start. So Matta waits in the wings. If we get a winner from this battle, the loser will go against Matta for third place. And then, of course, the winner will go against Hurst for the win. We will have some social distance trophy ceremonies going on down at the podium. But you can join us. We'll still be on live stream, from what I understand. So we'll see the trophy ceremony down there, have some words with our drivers. Oh man, we got another NGK competition time out. Each driver is only allotted one. So again, do spark plugs time out? Well, yeah, they do. They sure do. And timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling and provides the best engine performance, It ensures less repair time. It can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about your original equipment suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. Also, if you haven't seen Royal Purple, buy any 5 quarts of Royal Purple High Performance Motor Oil and receive a free box of nitrile work gloves by mail. That is valid from, August 26th all the way till September 29th, online and in U.S. stores. Qualifying purchase must be made from O'Reilly Auto Parts, not valid in combination with any other rebate or offer, no cash value. Also, buy $45 of any Royal Purple products and get a $10 rebate by mail. That is valid. Already in the Final Four, Matta against the loser and Hurst against the winner of this battle. Run 1 of the one more time battle. Brutskiy running hot. Love gonna try to run even hotter on track. Not under the hood. Waiting for the SOPA to get the thumbs up, and it seems like we are good to go. SOPA getting the thumbs up. Lights are on. You can see them there right between the drivers. The sun is setting, so when they double back and come back the way after that first front clip, they are looking into the sun. A big initiation there by Brutskiy. Love not as deep as Brutskiy. And there they go into that front clip. Oh, Brutskiy allowing Love to get right next to him. And now into that final outside zone. Brutskiy going very deep, and Love.
That time, Brutskiy tapped the wall more than somewhat noticeable.
Right.
And I think it's going to play a role in what happened after the fact, Jared. So this is where we get into the fun part of drifting.
Split hairs.
How did this accident take place? And we are seeing a little bit of damage. It was very clear that Brutskiy did hit the wall on the transition to outside zone 4. But let's look at the first half of the battle. Brutskiy blasting out. Love sticking with him here. Nice transition there in the pocket by Love. Super tight. Great job there by both drivers. Brutskiy very consistent in outside zone 3. Very close to the wall. Taps it right there. Big e-brake pull. Lots of angles. Starts slowing down as Love comes up on the inside. So was Love on the wrong line, or did Brutskiy start slowing up? That is pretty much the essence of what will tend to be a controversial call no matter which way you go. Trying to find a way to point blame for who caused this. There is Brutskiy tapping the wall, and you can see Love is on a tighter line there. Brutskiy does slow down. Now, we have what we have in the series this year, what's called a collision chart. And we follow that step by step depending on what ingredients of a collision took place. So the judges will be walking through the steps to say, hey, you know, was this contact in a decel zone? Yes or no? Okay, was it initiated by the lead driver? Was the lead driver on the right line? Was the chase driver on the right line? And it's essentially a path that takes you to a result that over time, the results make sense in a way that gives fault to the driver that was pretty much the most at fault for the collision. And this is what makes drifting really fun and exciting, is trying to pinpoint blame on who caused the collision.
Is it fun? Is it fun?
Well, it's a challenge. It's challenging, which
Right.
makes it fun ultimately, because you know you want to get the right answer that's intuitive to the fans, but also the right thing for what we know the drivers are going through, what they're experiencing, and how the track is laid out. And if we have that decel map ready, we can pull it up and show you guys where those are.
The red map, the red zones.
Yeah, the red zone map.
We are. You can see the big duck club. Is that you know what? One, would you rather fight one big duck, a horse-sized duck, or 100 duck-sized horses?
The big one. The big one.
Just one big duck?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
So take a look at this. You can see there's an expectation near outside zone 4 at the beginning for drivers to be slowing, and though that is not where the accident took place, that is where the decel or red zone is for this year. Where the incident took place was just past that area, right towards the end. And let's take another look again, because obviously the judges are digesting this. And we've got Brutskiy out front, Love in the chase position. So far, so good. Both drivers looking incredible. A little bit tighter here from Love in the chase, but doing a good job navigating through without making contact. And here goes Brutskiy. He's going to head towards this outside zone. He's going to tap the wall here. There goes the bumper. Now look at Love in the chase position. He is on a tighter line here. And then the smoke starts to resolve and slow down from Brutskiy. So Brutskiy obviously was trying to slow down, but Love was on a tight line, and it was outside of a decel zone. So I think it looks like it's probably more in the fault of the chase driver here. But let's see what the judges think.
That was only run one of this battle. So what we thought was kind of going clear cut now starts to coalesce to something a little more exciting than being cut and dry. But this is to be expected. Ryan, I hear you talking to Pat, and what is the verdict?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good call here. They acknowledged that both drivers basically had mistakes.
Perfect storm.
And so it was shared fault. And what we needed to do in order to move forward is that if there is shared fault, then the drivers are able to look at their vehicle. If it was one driver or the other, they'd either have to use a competition timeout or they'd be awarded time to fix their vehicle. So in this case, basically, you can imagine a situation where the incident results in kind of a nothing burger.
Right.
Right.
And nothing. Going to look at that replay once again. The judges have scrutinized, and they basically said they're both at fault. So again, Brutskiy, remember, if you can recall, he already called his competition timeout. Love called his, but Brutskiy, he was overheating. We talked about how his car was running hot. They dumped a cooler on his engine to cool it down, and here is the incident that slowed things down progressively. Ryan?
Yeah, and I think I agree with that for the most part, because if Brutskiy continued his momentum in that final outside zone and we still had that competition, or we still had that collision, then I would want to say that it's more favored towards the fault of Love. But Brutskiy was slowing down there, and so you kind of have this perfect storm of circumstances that led to this. Now, it's important to just pick up where you left off, Jared, about the competition timeout awarded to both drivers. Those are now gone for both drivers. So we're in a situation where that can't happen anymore. If the heating issue for Brutskiy is a problem, it may result in him DNFing or forfeiting. And obviously Love can't sustain any kind of damage that requires him to have a competition timeout. And one of these guys is going to go to the finals, and that's going to be a potential issue or a factor. And the other guy is going to be going to third place. So they still have some work to do here.
Yeah, a lot of work. And like I said, both Love and Brutskiy have had a couple one more time battles, but Love has seen a lot of track time here today. Keep in mind, we still have 3 more rounds left of the championship, 3 weekends overall, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. You can finish well here and still do well in the overall Pro 2 championship. So already out of the gate, very impressed with all the talent. Just extremely impressed with all the builds and overall just the whole Pro 2 experience, the caliber of driving, the caliber of the builds, and the execution of it all. So all the Pro 2 drivers, hats off to them. Here we go, the second half of this battle. Remember, this is run 2. In the first battle, we saw the incident, both at fault. Red lights are on. Here we go. Let's extinguish them. Send it. Here we go. Love out front. Brutskiy in that chase position. Love initiates. Nice job by both of the drivers. Brutskiy fairly close in proximity. Good angle by him. Now going to that third outer zone. Now right now they're looking right back into the sun. So you got to imagine that chase position, the combination of the smoke and the sunlight. Brutskiy really aggressive in that chase position, Ryan. You can see Brutskiy actually lunged and then had to back off. But Ryan, that sun is right at their face. You got to think that that's going to come into play. you know, that might have even come into play on that last battle in the contact.
Yeah, coming around that corner for sure, looking right into that sun. And through the finish line there, Brutskiy looked like he straightened out right at the finish line or right before it. And that may be the dagger that takes him down. Love right here, transitioning to that second outside zone. Brutskiy looking solid here through the inside clip. Now pushing out wide is Love. And here Brutskiy sees on an interesting line as he transitions and then goes to the outside zone. Now let's watch him here. Yeah, he straightens out before the finish line. Big mistake there. Now let's just talk about one other thing that's playing a role here. We know that the shared fault, but the judges will look at that run. They will judge that run as it stands up until the point of the shared fault. And now they're going to judge this second run as it stands on it by itself. So Brutskiy, great job up until this point. But look at this. This is devastating. On this last section right here, he unwinds it just before the finish line and is not able to complete the run.
Oh, man, that could be it. Like you said, the dagger, Ryan, for Brutskiy. Remember, the winner goes to the finals, going against Jonathan Hurst, and it looks like we already have a verdict. Slide him left for Brutskiy, right for Josh Love, and it looks like, yep, Chris Yule gets, oh, Josh Love, so Chris Yule goes for Love, Lontaine goes for Love, and Brian Eggert, it's an all Love. It is unanimous. Love is going to the finals. Definitely, deservedly so, a very fun driver to watch, as Love will go against Hurst in the finals. Now, Brutskiy, he can put hands on his vehicle after the contact. He has only a certain amount of time because right now Matta is waiting in the wings for that third place battle, Ryan. And what do you think? I mean, I know a lot of the drivers really like the third place battle. With us not having qualifying here in the 2020 season, the modified schedule, all of that. Do you like seeing the third place consolation battle?
Personally, myself, I mean, the competition, yes, I like seeing it, but what we have to go through now, which basically is Brutskiy having to change tires before we can move on to the final battle to do third place, so I don't like that.
Logistically, you're kind of like, okay, now the finals are set.
We're stuck until the third place guys can battle, essentially, right? And for me, it just kind of slows the show down.
But aren't we stuck regardless? Because right now, Love has, if say we didn't have third place battle, just play a little devil's advocate, my friend. We have to wait for Love to put on new tires to go against Hurst.
We do. All those parts of competition I don't like.
You're like, let's see it. All killer, no filler, man. We want to see, we want to see a good time. So, hey, grab a NOS, chill out, right? Let's, crack into one here, my friends. I mean, it's Friday night. Right, we still got our third place battle. We have our first place battle. You guys having fun? Hashtag FDSTL. Cracking a nice cold can of NOS energy drink. Ryan, why are you laughing at me? Am I funny to you?
No, I love you, man.
Okay. Well,
you're a great entertainer.
I've already gotten that out of the way, Ryan. We said that on the front end. I don't know why you have to keep repeating it. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. It's been a great day here for the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship, round 1. And if this is just a teaser of what's going to unfold here for tomorrow, round 1, and Sunday's Pro 2, let's take a look at some highlights here, Ryan. What stands out to you? I mean, I'm really impressed with Josh Love. I think Josh Love really has put together a great vehicle. He's in the finals, and we've seen some awesome driving there. Looks like Sopa on Arrieta getting absolutely torqued there, announcing the winners. But here are some other awesome drivers.
They came to play, they came to fight, and they put on a great show for us. The Pro 2 guys are looking phenomenal. And for it to be the first event in close to 300 days is an amazing feat. Getting these cars ready, not knowing when the season's going to start. I'm loving this Pro 2 series so far this year.
Right on. Well, when it comes, here we go, as we're about to see a little harmony here. Not Bone Thugs in harmony, but some harmony of two vehicles synchronizing, becoming one. Here we go, as Spice Girls 2 become one, and we are going to be seeing this third place battle of Matta and Brutskiy. So hopefully the Brutskiy's vehicle running a lot cooler, but it's about to heat up. So Brutskiy, Matta, third place, Ryan, and ideally Love and Hurst are waiting in the wings. They got their fresh Achilles tires. Link Engine Management, third place battle, as Brutskiy and Matta are going for it. Did you like that, Ryan?
In a way, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a way? What kind of way?
You know, in a good way.
Okay,
I think
good.
you're nosed out.
Get fully NOS right now. High performance energy drink brought to you by NOS energy drink. Here we go. Brutskiy out front and Matta in the chase position. Never settle. That's what it says on the front bumper. Right now, leave it all on track because this is the last battle for both of these drivers. Coming around that first and only front clipping point. Now through the third outside zone into the fourth. Bringing it in, like I said, that sunset, we're staring them right in the eyes, and you can see how it just really makes the smoke thicker. It just makes it more dense, harder to see. And here we go. So Ryan,
yeah,
Brutskiy,
I think, you know, maybe at a little bit of a disadvantage here from a car side of things if he was having heating problems. He was the most recent out on track, but Matta's kind of like sitting off to the side, ready to go, been able to watch, strategize. But Brutskiy is a beast. Let's take a look at it as he comes out front as the lead driver. Fills that first outside zone incredibly well. Matta sticking with him there, good transitions, and mirroring effect is pretty solid by Matta, but right there he falls back. Slight adjustment there by Brutskiy. But what I've noticed with Brutskiy, Jared, is he's pretty consistent out front with the exception of those wall taps and just coming off that outside zone a little bit. He's actually a pretty consistent lead driver. And that does make it very challenging for the chase drivers in some instances. In other instances, it's actually providing a very good opportunity for an awesome tandem battle. But you can see right there where Matta fell back a little bit and then wasn't able to stay on the line that Brutskiy had put down from outside zone number 3. So first half of this third place battle now done, and we will switch things up with Austin Matta going to the lead position.
Oh man, like you said, Ryan, I think that Brutskiy does have a bit of a slight tinge of an advantage after that first portion of the battle, but Matta now gets the fresh air. The sun has dipped behind the bleachers on that side of the track, on the west side, as Kitty Gang, as Matta will lead and Brutskiy will give chase. Never settle, like I said, it says it on Brutskiy's front bumper. He's gonna try to settle that front bumper and the door in the side of Matta, but Matta, he wants to win this as he can stand on the podium for the first time here in the Pro 2 Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Matta into that first front clip, you can see him. Oh man, look at that, the sun and the combo of the smoke. Brutskiy falls back quite a bit. Oh, and Brutskiy straightens out. A big correction by Brutskiy. Ryan, I think that's gonna be all she wrote. Again, Brutskiy wasn't even in frame.
Well, I was worried about the vehicle just because of the overheating that we've been hearing about. Now, whether or not that played a role here, he did not finish the run. And we've got Austin Matta with 2 complete runs on both his lead and chase. And that's gonna put him in a very solid position here to capture third place. Let's see if we can go back and take a look at what happened here to Dmitry Brutskiy and determine where that incomplete happened, but he was not able to finish the run. Here it is. Smoke still looming, playing a massive role. Sun setting, and we're starting to see how much of an impact it has on the drivers when they cross over right here. Here's Brutskiy. He starts to straighten out a little bit there, gets lost in the smoke. Where is he? And then as he transitions, watch this, he's gonna drive straight. He's been driving straight for a little bit there. I think if we have another angle, you'll see that he was driving straight for a while, does not finish the run. Here it is from the start, the first outside zone into the second. And as you can see, again, disappearing in that smoke cloud. Matta out front, staying pretty consistent, but Brutskiy now so far behind, we lose him in the camera shot, and he just drives through the finish line. So that is gonna be all she wrote for Dmitry Brutskiy.
I think I won the Matta. Believe me, brother. If anybody gets that quote, I'm definitely pumped. As Matta waits, and this will be an eventual, I believe, a victory and a third place win for Austin Matta. Don't want to speak too soon because the judges, but remember, the first podium of the 2020 season. Join us on the live stream. I'll be headed down there. Social distancing trophy ceremony. Austin Matta, Brutskiy, all of our competitors, really great effort. Remember, we have the finals, Love versus Hurst. As we are waiting, and waiting for our judges to bring in the verdict. Chris Yule says Brutskiy or Matta. Matta gets one of the votes from our judges. And Lantain, Austin Matta gets the third place finish. Austin Matta gets third place here in St. Louis. Congratulations to him, his first Pro 2 podium. He will be joining the other two drivers. The order is TBD, to be decided. Love or Hurst? And there it is, Matta after a great few battles. Brutskiy just outside looking in, and there it is. You could see Matta absolutely pumped. And here we go to the finals. Ryan, who you placing your money on, man? If you were a betting man, Love or Hurst? And how did they get here? I'll take you through Love's path, as Love most recently took out Brutskiy, and right before that, Love went against Wadman. Then Love also took out Andy Hateley. And I mean, he's gone all the way from the 32. A lot of drivers just started the 16, but all the way back to 32, Daniel Stuck. And he had multiple one more times. So talking about the other side of the finals, Hurst, Jonathan Hurst.
Well, I mean, let me give you the case for both. I think with Love, you know, he has really shown here today that he finds a way to win no matter what. And it's not because he's been lucky, it's because he's been consistent. He's attacked in the right opportunities, and he put himself in a position to battle Dmitry Brutskiy for one more time and end up getting the win there. On the other hand, Jonathan Hurst, for me, in thinking about how he was competing last year, is almost a completely different driver. The car looks super fast, he's aggressive, he's got great angle, and he seems very committed to his run. So I think we're in for an awesome final here between Josh Love and Jonathan Hurst.
All right, here we go. The finals are here. Hashtag FDSTL. Jonathan Hurst will lead. Josh Love will give chase. Both of them initiate aggressively. Hurst, great angle from him. You see Love backpedaling just a little bit, allowing some room to transition into that. Oh, wow, Love really center punched that front clip, now transitioning through. Whoa, Love, oh, Hurst with a major correction. Love surges back to the side of Hurst. Woo, these guys know this is for the glory of the first round of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship, round one of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship.
Well, we know when drivers are trying to compete for that first place spot, they are willing to push it just a little bit harder there. And we saw some mistakes happen because of that, but it is the right thing to do. You want to stand on top of that podium. Hurst out front, fills that outside zone. He got a little bit of a late jump on the initiation. Love was able to take advantage of it, gets into that second outside zone, now wrapping into this inside clip, pushing out wide as Hurst. A little bit of reduction of angle there for Love. Love right there, just perfectly timed, but Hurst is way off that last outside zone, and Love takes advantage of it. That was a great perspective there that we saw. It really showed some fine detail in what transpired on course. Here's Hurst again. Love super tight through that inside clip and comes up a bit too short there. So there's a mistake by Love, but he had proximity, which is something of a good here, even in that position of the course. Now Hurst is supposed to get out wide here. He goes way off outside zone number 4, and Love is able to adjust to it and stay with him, following him on that line through the finish line. So we saw the mistake from Love on the inside clip, but he used it to gain proximity. And then we see Hurst with his mistake, not feeling outside zone number 4. Run number 1 is in the books, Jared. And just look at this transition right here. I mean, that is inches away from the bumper. Yeah. Unbelievable right there by Josh Love in the chase position. And then to be able to adjust and not make contact or throw himself right into Jonathan Hurst is quite impressive as well. Yeah,
you saw Hurst's wheels straighten out there, and I think he was puckering up as he thought he was going to feel a punch from that E36 in the chase position. All right, and we are getting ready here. You can see Love airing out his hot rod, as it is hot literally. Love will lead. Love will find a way to find himself on the podium. Jonathan Hurst, you see him slow trickle out of the gate. Clean start, here we go. Who's gonna win the first round of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship? Jonathan Hurst goes for it right to the side of Love. Now Love's gonna bring it on in. Remember, Love center punched that front clip. Ooh, Love lacking a little bit of angle. Hurst throws it in there. Now transitioning around. Hurst with a little bit of a delayed transition. Hurst, opens the door of Love. Round of applause for these two gladiators. Look at Hurst's vehicle absolutely filled in the cockpit with smoke, Ryan.
Wow, that was a fun battle to watch here in the second half. Jonathan Hurst and Josh Love duking it out here in the finals. Do we have enough here for the judges to make a result and give us a winner? Let's take a look. Here we go. Love out front this time. Hurst in the chase position, does not want to let him get away. Pretty decent start there by both drivers. Hurst super tight. I mean, really amazing on proximity and the consistency of it as well. Josh leaving outside zone 3. He was a little bit deeper there than Jonathan. Nice defensive move by Jonathan to not get stuck in that area and make contact. But look at this. Love also cuts the line pretty tight there, similar to how Jonathan did on his run. But Hurst was incredible in the chase position. I mean, really consistent and staying on Josh through the entirety of the course. And that is what drifting is all about. You can see he does hit that inside clip. We want to see these guys close together without making mistakes. And you can see that defensive move there by Hurst to know how to make that adjustment without hitting Love is just an incredible feat there. I mean, these guys certainly seem like pro-level drivers to me. It's really amazing to see as we take this third and final look.
Yeah, take a look at that. Like you said, Hurst finding that composure, just having the ability to hold back. Both of them center punch that front clip now. Now, you can see Love with the fresh air feels a little more comfortable. You see Love really locking it up. He yanks on that handbrake to get his car to massage out to that outside zone, the final outside zone. And Hurst goes for it, puts it into the side of Love, but obviously no harm, no foul. That was after the finish line. So to find out who's gonna come out on top, we await for the judges. So the winner here at round 1 of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship, round 1, slide them left for Love, right for Hurst. Chris Ewell says, anticipation mounts for our two drivers. There's a one more time from Chris Ewell. Ryan Lontaine, our Canadian judge. And, oh, it's going one more time. And Brian Eggert, our final judge, does side on the side of Jonathan Hurst. So we get to go at it again. So Jonathan Hurst is gonna head back, as well as Josh Love, and we're gonna go at it again, get some fresh Achilles radials underneath the vehicle, and go at it for the finals. Matta locked in for that third place position, and now Love and Hurst, and this is what's to be expected as we rise to the occasion, as the drivers rise to the occasion to rise themselves atop the podium. You can just see the caliber of driving just kind of apexing here as far as the ability, the vehicles, all things considered, and this is what's to be expected when we come to the finals. Ryan, it's the sun is setting. We're not going to turn the lights on, so hopefully their headlights work, and we will find out. Do you agree with the call? 2 more times, and we did see Brian Eggert side with Jonathan Hurst, so maybe that's a shape of things to come.
I was more leaning towards Jonathan Hurst. I thought the chase run was really phenomenal overall and kind of seemed to push it over the edge for me. I can completely understand.
Sun is setting here on St. Louis, but the action continues. We are losing light. Doesn't seem that any of the core, oh no, barely just a little bit over there at that inside clip is getting just a little bit of the sun, but it eclipses behind. You can see, beautiful day here in St. Louis. You can see the gateway to the west, downtown St. Louis off in the distance, just to the left of the sunset. Ryan Sage, it's been great. Again, the action continues, the party continues tomorrow and Sunday. No qualifying, all killer, no filler. Just all about head-to-head battles from here on out, baby.
First time in history, and it's obviously all due to everything that we're all going through. And It's going to be a battle of attrition, right? How are drivers going to deal with back-to-back top 32s Saturday and Sunday? And we are going to find out very shortly, because that's going to go down. We've got 29 drivers, which means a pretty full field here. And even without Peter and James attending this event, it is going to be awesome.
It's going down. I'm yelling, send it. All right, here we go. Run one of this one more time battle. Love, Hurst. Love wins. Here we go. Hurst or Love. We'll find out who's going to come out on top. Remember, Matta already got 3rd place. This is the finals one more time. Let's decide a victor. Make some noise. Worldwide Technology Raceway. Round 1 of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship. And here we go. Send it, fellas. Jonathan Hurst, nice initiation. Ooh, Love gets into the dirt, transitions back. Hurst, very nimble in that G37, takes out that front clip into that 3rd outer zone. And now both of them having trouble with this final outer zone. You can see Love pedaling back a little bit, gaining composure, and crossing the finish line. No contact was made with either driver or a wall. Looks like we got a clean full pull here from both the drivers. Now they will head back to the start line.
Both these drivers really learning a lot about each other in these battles here, and the spotters are going to play an integral role in trying to strategize. But you can see right out of the gate, Josh knows that he needs to be very tight to Jonathan Hurst and stick on him, because Hurst is an incredible chase driver. We saw that from the last battle. Hurst unwinds a little bit of angle there. Josh and these guys coming into this final corner, this time much cleaner. Hurst goes out wide, and Josh Love follows him there right to the edge of the track, and Josh Love pushes just a little bit too hard, but he's able to get back on it. It has a good save. You can see he loses that line from Hurst for a second. That's where Hurst just had a little tiny unwinding of the angle that he had committed to. And he e-brake pulls into that final section, and this time he fills that zone nicely with Josh Love towing up the rear end, Jared. So a great first run with Josh Love. It's pretty close.
Which way is the needle going? Which way is the needle going? What do you think?
The needle's kind of in the middle for me, except for I think Jonathan had just a slight advantage there, looking at the lead driver goals compared to the chase driver goals of Josh Love, with that dropping off, falling back a little bit, and trying to keep that proximity. We know that Hurst is going to put on a great chase run now, as he did in the first run. If he can do that, he may be your winner here tonight.
Just for the sake of argument, I'm just going to say I think Josh Love has a slight advantage. We'll find out.
Making claims.
Making claims. That's what we do. Claims. Here we go. Who's going to claim the victory? Love with massive angle there. But like you said, Hurst in that chase position does a good job. He tucks in. And Hurst does make a slight mistake there. Now here they come into that final outside zone. How are they going to manage? Love does a good job, but Hurst slides on in. Oh man, Ryan, do we have a winner? Or are we going one more time? We're doing it in the dark.
Well, Hurst did get pinched off in that first inside clip area, and that can be a pretty noticeable mistake for the judges. Let's take a look as Josh Love slingshots out of the start line into that initiation point. Hurst is on a tighter line there as well. Didn't follow him into the outside zone, so a secondary mistake there. He also misses that second outside zone and then comes up tight there. So this is not the chase run that we're used to seeing from Jonathan Hurst. And you said the needle was going in Josh Love's direction, and it looks like with that lead run, he may have done a good enough job given the mistakes of Hurst in the chase position. Remember, the mistakes that we saw from Josh Love in the chase was he dropped that tire, he had a little bit of angle loss, but overall, he kept great proximity and no major noticeable mistakes. So was this enough to push it into the Josh Love camp?
Ooh. A new live stream team here. Definitely looks good, feels good, and like everything that's going down here. Thank you to Kemp and his team. As again, the party continues tomorrow. Tell your friends. 12 o'clock. We'll go live at 11:45 officially, but top 32 will take a break, and then we're back at it again with some more pro action on Sunday as well. So, from what I understand, we do have a winner. We'll bring him down in front of the fans. I know Jonathan Hurst has a lot of friends and family and homies in the bleachers. But what about Josh Love? Any Josh Love fans out there? Feeling the love for Josh Love. Thank you, guys and gals, for joining us here in the building. We'll announce the winner right here on track, right in front of the stands, and then we will have the trophy ceremony. You can see it just across, right across the track from that inside clip. So Austin Matta grabs third place, and our victor will be announced in just moments. We'll bring them out of their vehicles, social distance, maybe drop a little bows on them. Between the two drivers, a great competition here in the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship, round 1. Every doubleheader weekend of the Pro Championship, we have a Pro 2 round. And there they are, revving it up. Josh Love. All right, so there are our top 3 finalists, and there are the vehicles. Make some noise for them as they step outside of their vehicle, and we'll find out if it's unanimous. Was it a split decision? But we do have a winner. Asking my judges here, was it unanimous? Brian, was it a unanimous decision? Yes? All right, so make some noise for our 3 finalists here. And of course, third place goes to Austin Matta. Congratulations, that tire stacks S14. And now the winner here at round 1 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Thank you to all our sponsors, including that of Toyota, Air Force, NOS, Royal Purple, Type S, Link ECU, BC Racing, Achilles Tires, GT Radio, Falcon Tire, and Ford. Now, your winner here at round 1 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship here at Worldwide Technologies Raceway. On Achilles Tires, the official tire of Pro 2, the winner is Josh Love. Josh Love gets the victory here in St. Louis, and that means second place goes to Jonathan Hurst. Jonathan Hurst, second place here in St. Louis. Congratulations, Matta, Hurst, and Love getting the victory. We'll be down there to give out the trophies on the podium. Ryan, closing thoughts as I'm going to head down there and give out some trophies, man.
Yeah, incredible day for Pro 2. I think an outstanding kickoff to the 2020 season for them. Congratulations to all 3 podium finishers, and thanks to all the fans that came out today. We're gonna have an awesome show Saturday and Sunday, and I'm just so happy to be here with all you guys, and looking forward to some great competition here in 2020. And the final highlights here of the day. Taking a look as we wrap this baby up, Josh Love and Jonathan Hurst going back and forth, a one-more-time battle. Hurst looked like he had the advantage. The chase run was on point, but Josh Love, as he has had throughout the majority of this competition, the consistency and the tenacity to find a way to win. And right there, that transition, avoiding contact, was an example of the car control needed to force that one more time after that very dominant chase run by Jonathan Hurst. In the second battle, Jonathan had a few mistakes, and Josh Love capitalized on it. He was able to have an incredible lead run, as you see here. Hurst pushing very hard, and it did cost him as he gets choked up on this inside clip here. And Josh Love is able to move forward to the end position, getting a unanimous victory here in St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And there it is, the final turn coming out of outside zone 4. As we take a look at these successive one-more-time battles that put these 2 finishers onto the podium, with Josh Love coming out on top. Jonathan Hurst, a great weekend for him, showed a tremendous amount of heart coming through this weekend, and the improvement from 2019 has just been phenomenal for him. He looks like a completely different driver as these drivers really got used to this track, laying down incredible plumes of smoke that were almost impossible to see through. We saw a lot of drivers get lost in the mix. But at the end of the day, Josh Love and Jonathan Hurst standing atop the podium with Austin Matta, some brand new faces that we will get used to seeing throughout the 2020 season. As now that first round is in the books, they can kick back, watch the Pro Championship on Saturday and Sunday, and try to find themselves in a position at the end of the year, Jared, where those top 8 drivers can move up into the pro class if they want to with the pro license. So for everybody at Formula Drift and Transition Productions, I am Ryan Sage. Jared Deanda is down doing the ceremony. Congratulations to Josh Love as we kick things off here from St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We'll see you tomorrow.